off to the northwest. We are expecting this to be until 1:45 p.m. So if you are in the Cypress area, you want to just be indoors and not really outside at the current moment. I'm going to go ahead and step off screen here so we can get a closer view of what this storm is doing. But just kind of going closer, you're seeing lots of lightning moving in towards the 290 corridor in the Cypress area, and the National Weather Service has just issued that tornado warning just moments ago, and you're able to see on your screen off at Highway 99 at Tuckerton the torrential rainfall that's currently happening. Not really a good place to be right now on the highways, as this area of rotation is starting to move closer towards Cypress and in the 290 corridor and in around the Tuckerton area, maybe the Town Lake area. You are able to see mostly that this area of rotation is going to be continuing moving closer towards the Cypress area within the next few minutes, and so we have to just keep an eye on that rotation as we head into the next few minutes. So looking at the rotation detector right now, as we look right now, we are seeing more so that this tornado warning is now showing. It's like we're missing a little bit of data here with the last scan, but we are seeing a little bit of rotation that is currently just to the southwest of the Cypress area. And so just to keep in mind that if you are in northwestern Harris County along the Grand Parkway in 290 in the Cypress area, Barker Cypress exit, maybe the Spring Cypress exit, just keep in mind that we are expecting to see this tornado warned storm. And you're able to see on your screen those cars that are coming to a complete stop on the highway right now. And so torrential rain, very high winds, and that rotation is making its way into the Cypress area currently right now. And so really for folks in northwestern Harris County, not really a good idea to be outside as this area of rotation is currently moving closer towards the Cypress area. As we, here I go, I got my data back right now. So right now we're seeing more so of that rotation passing the Grand Parkway currently right now, but also south of there, we are also expecting this to continue. It's more so of a northwest or northeastern movement in and around the Tuckerton Road area. So if you are in Tuckerton, near Tuckerton Road, the Town Lake area, Fry Road, just to the west of Highway 6, we are tracking a storm that does have the possibility of actually causing a tornado out to the south of 290, and this is moving directly towards the northeast. This is going to be in place until 1:45 this afternoon. We have lots of lightning, some very heavy rain, probably making it extremely difficult to drive out there. And you were able to see on those cameras that we were seeing some issues with folks that were on the highway currently right now. But as we look at the current rainfall, it's like our data is coming in and out in terms of looking at what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and show you that the entire area is under that tornado watch, and currently towards the rest of tonight we've seen quite a bit of rainfall within the past couple of hours, and we are also looking at this lightning that currently is moving into the Cypress area. Some very dangerous lightning going in place, moving in closer towards the 290 area, even around just near the Barker Cypress West Road area, even near Highway 6. So looking right now at that tornado warning, just kind of going in and refocusing on what we're looking at right now. We're looking at a tornado warned storm that currently is in place for northwestern Harris County, which does include the area of Cypress and portions of 290 for the next few minutes. So definitely expecting those conditions to continue. It's more so of a northward movement as we head into the next few minutes. So Cypress, 290 Northwest Freeway, just to the northwest of the Sam Houston Tollway, you are able to see a pretty severe or strong storm that is now moving in closer towards the Cypress area. You have lots of lightning. We do have that area of rotation that is currently moving closer towards the Cypress area. So really not a good idea to be out on the roadways currently right now, as we are expecting this to continue at least for the next few minutes here as this storm crosses the Highway 290 area. I'm going to go ahead and look at our rotation detector, and this is usually just really looking at where the rotation is right now. And the area that I'm looking at is currently near just around just to the east of the Grand Parkway. area, and this is what we're looking at, that rotation. So this area that is currently moving off towards 290 in and around the Barker Cypress area, this is the Town Lake area. We really have to just be indoors and not be outside and away from windows inside the most interior portion of your home or structure that you are at, because we are expecting this to continue at least for the next 25 to 30 minutes, with that rotation moving in closer towards the next few minutes. So looking at Barker Cypress area, we are expecting to see more so of this very strong storm that's moving into that area. But so this is looking also at Tuckerton Road at the last check. We're having some data issues of our rotation detector data moving in and coming in and out. But just keep in mind that we are looking at that rotation near the Fry Road area, Tuckerton, North Bridge and Lake Parkway, Bark just to the east of Bark. There we go. We're getting another scan right now, and still seeing where that rotation is at currently, as that rotation is currently moving off towards the northwest. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you how long this storm will be moving into certain areas across the next few minutes. So as we look at this situation in terms of where that rotation is at, I think we're going to see this continue that more of a northwest track, at least until making it into the Reno Elementary School area at 123, Houston National Golf Club at 129, 136 at Dry Creek, 140 at Little Cypress Creek Preserve, and then even closer towards 148 at Lakewood Elementary School as this storm continues. It's more of a northwestern track, and then by 2 o'clock we could start seeing this approach the 249 highway going closer towards the Tomball area. So that's what we're looking at in terms of right now, is we are tracking this tornado warned storm that is currently moving into the Cypress area. We're also looking at another area of rotation behind that. This is to the north of Sealy right now. So Sealy, just to the north of Sealy, there is a little storm that's right there that is causing a little bit more of a concern. The National Weather Service has not issued any type of tornado warning for that one right now, but we are expecting this to continue at least for the next couple of minutes, and definitely expecting this to continue in and around the Cypress area at least until 1:45 this afternoon. And so there's lots of rain, some very heavy rain, and lots of dangerous lightning with this storm that is currently moving into the Cypress area in northwestern Harris County, and that's why the National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning until 1:45 this afternoon. You're able to look at your screen right now. This is looking at, as you see the Houston TransStar cam off to the corner of your screen. This is showing the Highway 290 West at Spring Cypress. You're seeing that heavy rain, and I think right now it's just really not a good idea to be out on the roadways, because we are seeing that heavy rain that's going to cause some issues in terms of impacting travel hazards north of 290. If you have any travel plans, maybe just hold off for the next couple of hours. But we are definitely expecting this severe weather outbreak to start moving into our area, which we're seeing right now, going into around closer towards the 2 to 3 p.m. hour. Take a look at your screen right now, looking at 290 West at Cypress Rose Hill. You're able to see just really not really good visibility out on those roadways currently right now, as those cars are just currently coming to a crawl off the 290 highway. And this is really the reason why, is because we are seeing that rotation moving into the Cypress area currently right now. Looking closer at that rotation to see where looking at the wind speeds in terms of that, right now we are definitely expecting to see these conditions start to deteriorating for the Cypress area. Right now rotation is not looking too impressive in terms of the latest scans here, but we are still dealing with some travel hazards in terms of the heavy rainfall across that area as we go into the next couple of hours. So keep that in mind. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Jeremy Rogalski with an airport update currently happening right now for those travelers making their way out of Houston.
Yeah, Chris, as we've talked about, you talked about that storm moving from the west to the northeast. We do have confirmation that there is currently a ground stop at Bush Intercontinental until 2:30 this afternoon. Again, travelers beware. If you're heading to the airport, your flight is likely going to be delayed. That ground stop in effect at least for another hour and 10 minutes or so. We are efforting a count of total planes that are affected and delays of any flights among the different airlines. Chris, I wanted to talk about if folks are watching in this area as these strong storms move through, let's go over again exactly what they should be doing in terms of where should they go inside their home, that important public safety information, if you can go over that again.
Yeah, you know, it's when it comes to these storms that are moving through the area, I think for the most part we are left definitely, you know, wanting to be in the centermost part of our houses or structures. It's really not a good idea to be out on the roadways right now. And in terms of the safety, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the lightning right now so we could see where this rotation is at. And right now the heaviest rain is now moving over the 290 area, in and around the Cypress area, the Barker Cypress area, Town Lake, that area that you're looking at, that heavy rain and dangerous lightning. Lots of lightning strikes happening right now. And there's also the National Weather Service issuing that tornado warning because it's very well possible that we could be looking at this storm potentially spawn a tornado as it's continue. It's more of a northeastern movement for the next couple of hours. And so for folks that are currently across the northern portions of our viewing area, especially out in Magnolia and Montgomery, there is also another storm currently in Montgomery County that the National Weather Service has just issued that special weather statement for. And so we are definitely expecting this to continue. We are not really out of the woods yet. This is a part of the initial boundary of storms that are moving through. It's really not, we're not going to be out of the woods yet until these storms that are moving through the Austin area are going to be passing into the Houston area going into later on today. And so you're able to see on your screen there that folks are being impacted if you are northwest of Houston. And so the camera looking at the Houston TransStar camera at 290 Northwest at Muskee, they are coming to a stop. Some folks are a little worried to continue driving in these conditions because what we're looking at right now is this very heavy rainfall and lots of lightning with this storm that is continuing to move into the area. So I think for folks that are out there driving, it's just really not a good idea to stop on the roadways if possible. Definitely for the most part get to off the highway or somewhere safe because it's just really not a good idea to stop on those freeways or be on the freeways currently at the moment. You want to have a little bit of a plan of escape there in case that the weather conditions start deteriorating more significantly than what we're seeing now across the northwestern Harris County. I'm going to go ahead and turn our lightning back on. Lots of lightning strikes currently moving over the Cypress area in northwestern Harris County, and we're also looking at the potential for some rotation with this storm as we head into the next couple of hours. So wind speeds right now, we are looking at currently, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the scan moves through here. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a better picture of what's happening in terms of where that rotation is. It's still to the southwest of the Cypress area and around just the north of West Road. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little closer into where we're looking at. So if you are on Fry Road, maybe west of Highway 6, that's where we're seeing that rotation currently, and this is currently moving towards the northeast at around 30-35 miles an hour. Looking at 290 Northwest at Cypress Rose Hill, you're able to see that in the corner of your screen of just the very horrible visibility issues and the issues that they're dealing with out on 290 currently right now. And those cars and vehicles are coming to a crawl at the moment as we're continuing to see the effects of why the National Weather Service has issued this tornado watch that will be in place until 7 p.m. So right now the storm that we're looking at is northwest of Houston. So if you are in northwestern Harris County or northern Harris County, you really need to be keeping an eye on this storm because it does have a tornado warning until 1:45 this afternoon as we are seeing some rotation. We have lots of lightning, some possible hail with the storm with it. I'm going to go ahead and look at the hail currently as we look to see if there's any significant large hail with this as it continues. It's more of a northwestern track, and it looks like that there is some hail with this storm, and which is really creating another ingredient that tornadoes usually you see with storms that have tornado type warning. So you're able to see maybe pea-sized hail moving over 290. I don't think this is really significantly damaging, but just keep in mind that it's very well possible that these storms usually could increase the hail size as they continue to gain strength going into the next couple of hours there. But tornado warning still in place for the Cypress area until 1:45 1:45 this afternoon, and that's still in about 20 minutes. And so as we look at to see where this rotation is right now, we are expecting this to continue at least until at least 1:45, as we're seeing this torrential heavy rainfall moving over northwestern Harris County with quite a bit of lightning with it as well. So lots of lightning. As we look at the lightning counter here, we are looking at 416 lightning strikes within 15 minutes that are happening simultaneously. So this is continuing its track towards the northwest. Lots of lightning over Cypress. I would really just suggest to not head towards the Cypress area if you are in Houston, or if you are making your way out to the Cypress suburbs there, because we are looking at a very strong storm that currently is in place, and that is causing some issues across the 290 corridor, as you're able to see on your screen, looking at 290 northwest at Mushki. So vehicles are coming to a crawl, lots of heavy lightning, and so we have not heard any, if there's a confirmed tornado, but the ingredients are there. What we're looking at, that we could see this potentially spawn some rotation like we've seen with this storm within the past couple of minutes. So looking at the situation right now, National Weather Service is saying that there is an inch diameter of hail with this storm, and this tornado warning does include portions of Waller County, and so we are expecting to see this continue at least until the next couple of minutes here, as this now is going to go ahead and just turn off our lightning to see where the strongest part of that storm now is still moving over the Cypress area. So if you are along 249, the 249 area just south of the Grand Parkway, the Willowbrook area, even north of Sam Houston Tollway, are now included under this tornado warning. So this is continuing to move off towards the northwest for northwestern Harris County and portions of North Houston. And so we are expecting this to continue for the next couple of minutes. And you're able to see on your screen, we're showing you the Houston TranStar cameras right now of the horrible visibility conditions on the freeway. So really not a place to be. I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Jeremy Rogalski on one other update.
Yeah, Chris, of course, all of this, as you've been mentioning, moving towards the northeast, right in the pathway, Bush Intercontinental Airport. According to the FAA, the IAH Bush Intercontinental has an active ground stop at least until 2:30. Information shows that the average delays are 75 minutes for flights departing from Bush Intercontinental. 75-minute delay. The probability of that continuing, we're told by the FAA, is between 40 and 60%. United Airlines, the most affected, with 107 flights delayed. American has about 10 flights, Frontier 6. Again, departure delays averaging 75 minutes at Bush Intercontinental, as that severe line of thunderstorms and that tornado warning moves, Chris, as you mentioned, from the west towards the northeast. 2:30 is the window for that ground stop, but again, the FAA is saying there is a, quote, medium possibility of extending that ground stop. So obviously it's a domino effect in terms of travel. Once you have a ground stop, things start to stack up, and those 75-minute average delays could be extended depending on how things go this afternoon. Also, Chris, if you can mention, right in the pathway here, we have Klein, we have Tomball, we have Spring, Champion, Forest. The Weather Service, Chris, is only having this tornado warning till 1:45. Do you have any gauge on whether that's going to hold, or if that might be extended, or is that still up in the air?
Yeah, I think that's still going to continue at least until 1:45, if not later, because the National Weather Service has now extended this for more communities in portions of northwestern Harris County. This is a live look right now, looking out of our roof cam here at the KHOU 11 studios. Just the ominous gray clouds that are currently off in the distance. This is looking off towards the northwest, so this is where those storms are. And so just keep in mind that we're still tracking that tornado warned storm that is now in place for portions of northwestern Harris County until 1:45 this afternoon, as the more of the higher rainfall, the torrential rain, very dangerous lightning is now starting to impact the Highway 249 area. So if you are in the Vintage Park area, even along the Lakewood Forest towards north of the Sam Houston Tollway, you're going to have to really keep an eye on this storm. Even Cypresswood, looking at this, the lightning now moving into that area. And so this storm has a history history of having rotation with it. We have not had any confirmed tornado at the current moment, but we just know that the ingredients are there as this storm continues its track into northern Harris County. And this is looking at 249 at Perry, just right past the Prince of Peace Catholic Church. That is currently showing those gray skies. There's still mostly dry conditions on the roadways, but we're going to start seeing this storm moving into that area at least within the next 15 or 20 minutes. I'd say at least maybe the next 5-10 minutes is when you're going to start seeing more of that heavy rain moving into 249. And that's also looking at 249 in Perry, and you're able to see those skies out there, mostly just very gray and ominous. I know there's a large construction area along Highway 249, so it could be a little bit more hazardous as cars are trying to merge into two lanes as they're trying to replace that center barrier. I think that's between the Sam Houston Tollway and 1960, and I think they ended up increasing that construction area just past 1960. So be extra cautious right now traveling on 249 as this tornado warned storm is now about to impact that area closer to portions of the Boulderbrook area. So this is some dangerous lightning. We did have that rotation moving into portions of Cypress. I think for the most part that Cypress is now seeing that rotation past them, and so those communities that are in between, I believe, Louetta, off of the Louetta Road, even closer towards portions of Spring Cypress, is now we're starting to see this heavier rainfall moving into the 249 area as the rotation has now passed the Cypress area. So looking closely right now, I'm looking at some definitely some weakening in terms of what we're looking at, but I still think that for the most part that the rotation has gotten a little bit more broad within the past couple of minutes. And so as we take a look at the storm structure of what we're looking at right now, we are looking at more of this sort of couplet type signature that really is just giving us the sign that this storm is definitely severe as it continues its track closer towards the 249 area. So looking at the current moment right now, we are looking at Cypress, and this is looking at the weather tracker with that tornado warned storm. This is looking at inbound at 290 at 362. I believe this is near the Waller area. And so you're able to see that rain starting to improve for that area as the stronger part of the storm is now past 290, but we're now looking at the possibility of more of these downpours that are now moved to the west of Cypress, or to the east of Cypress rather, and we are definitely expecting that to continue its track towards the 249 area as we head into the next few minutes here. So looking at the current situation in terms of our weather conditions here across Houston, I think Houston for the most part is quiet, but it's not just too far to the north of Houston, where we're seeing this tornado warned storm that currently is moving into just past the Cypress area, now moving closer towards 249 in the Klein Spring area, the Glenlock Forest area. Those are some of the neighborhoods that we're looking at in terms of south of the Grand Parkway. That's where you're starting to see more of the stronger storms moving into those areas across, along to Louetta, maybe even along Spring Cypress, closer towards 249. And so just keep in mind that the National Weather Service is still keeping this tornado warned storm until 1:45 p.m. as we are seeing some 1-inch diameter of hail with that storm. But looking at the latest scans, it's looking at the rotation has definitely weakened just a bit, but I think for the most part that this storm still has very strong characteristics in terms of what we're looking at right now. But looking at the situation in terms of the lightning, we have a very dangerous lightning now moving into the Cypresswood, the Klein area along Cypresswood south of the Grand Parkway. Even the Champion Forest area is now looking at this dangerous lightning. I don't know if they can hear me in the control room, if you could probably load one of those cameras that were along maybe Perry Road or maybe Boudreaux Road. That's where we could probably see more of the heavier rainfalls. This is the tower cam looking off towards the northwest, and that is, you're able to see the lightning strike that you just saw right there off into the distance, but we are still seeing this pretty strong storm now starting to move into the Klein area to the east of Cypress. And so this is looking at that, at those pretty ominous clouds currently moving over just to the north of the city. So I wouldn't really travel on I-45 North or 290 North, or maybe even on 249 going northwest of town, because I think that for the most part that this storm is actually heading straight for the I-45 corridor, and that's what we're looking at right now as the heaviest of the storms are currently moving over the 249 area, in and around maybe the Perry Road area, maybe also along just looking north and south. And the good thing is that we are expecting this to end for Cypress, but this is just already moving off towards the northeast, and we are continuing to see this potentially cause some issues for folks that are out in northwestern Harris County, at least into the next couple of minutes here. So definitely not out of the woods yet. We are still tracking more of these storms that could potentially move into our area through the next couple of hours, as we are looking at the initial boundary, which is currently draped off towards the west of Houston. It's not going to really be until these storms make it past us until we finally are out of the woods, and that's not going to be at least until the next couple of hours. So that's what we're seeing right now, is that we are seeing that tornado warning storm now in place for northwestern Harris County, and the National Weather Service is keeping that in place until 1:45 this evening, and we are seeing an inch diameter of hail with this. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our lightning so we can see the communities are seeing the heaviest rainfall. Usually where you're seeing more of those pink colors, the North Eldridge Parkway, even along to the west of 249 is where we could possibly see more of that heavier rain, and also where the hail is located with this as well. And so looking closer at, wow, look at that. Look at the 249 area near Grant Road. You're just able to see those clouds moving on in. Right now the rain doesn't look too significant, but you're just able to see that that cloud, that shelf cloud moving on in, and that is going to really just a sign that the weather conditions are about to deteriorate for the northwest Houston area along Highway 249, and as well as just the south of Tomball. So that's the south of Tomball in and around the Willowbrook area. I think for the most part that we are seeing more of that heavier storm activity and dangerous lightning now starting to move into the Spring area. So if you are in Spring, keep in mind that this is heading towards you and heading towards 249, and just know that there is a tornado warning in place for this storm that is now moving in if you are seeing the storm approach you in northern Harris County, and this does have the potential for having some rotation with it, and we've seen some rotation signatures on radar. We have not seen a confirmed tornado with this, but just keep in mind that as you see on your screen there, as that camera, the Houston TransStar camera is showing, look at that, how those clouds are moving closer towards, I don't know if they could take that camera full screen, 249 in the Grant Road area. If we could take that camera 249 in the Grant Road area on full screen, this is about to show something pretty significant here across the Highway 249 as that cloud is sort of getting a little lower right now. This is, I don't want to go and safe to say that this is a funnel cloud, but that is something that's really concerning. When you start seeing those clouds start getting a little low to the ground like we're seeing right now, and that little, that sort of a rotating signature that you're seeing with those clouds as they're able to move into just the over 249, this is what we're looking at right now. Yeah, this is some rotation that we're currently looking on camera right now off of 249, about to cross over 249, as we are expecting to see this funnel cloud. That is a funnel cloud that you're seeing on your screen right now, moving over 249, and we're seeing that continuously start moving southward over 249, and then that's near the Grant Road area, near the Willowbrook area, and that is really something to really, wow, that is impressive as this continues to move over 249 and around the area. Jeremy Rogowski, go ahead and what are you thinking about all this?
Well, we're talking to various law enforcement and first responding agencies, Cy-Fair Fire Department. We are told, Chris, just in the last few minutes, has reports of signal lights out around 290 and Telge. So that's the area that had just crossed, as you've been tracking this for us all this afternoon. That heavy band of thunderstorms just crossed that 290 area. So they're already seeing some traffic signal issues, the Cy-Fair Fire Department reporting to us. No other weather damage reports have come in just yet, but obviously we're keeping a close eye on that and monitoring the situation. A lot of headaches and hassle, though, for travelers, perhaps looking to get a jump on their Thanksgiving vacation plans.
Jeremy, if you could, sorry about that. I'm just
Please
going to go ahead and
ahead.
give you the update from the National Weather Service that I'm looking at. They have now confirmed that this is a tornado that has been observed in and around the northwest Houston. Really what you're seeing right now that's passing over your screen. I don't know if they can pop me up on radar, or not on radar, but on camera right now. If what we're looking at in terms of, or pop me up on camera in front of the camera, but it's okay. You could go ahead and go back to that camera if you are able to. Sorry about that. But if you could just make that full screen, what you're able to see right there is where you see that the parts of that funnel cloud that is moving over. It just crossed 249. I don't see it touching the ground, but that is where the moment, the area that we're looking at. And as you're able to see that very ominous rotation sort of just dipping from the atmosphere as it moves over northwest Houston currently right now. So just go ahead and make that full screen if y'all want, but I'm just thinking that as you're able to see that go closer towards, this is 249 looking at Grant Road, and yes, that is a funnel cloud associated with rotation that is occurring with this storm. And so it's looking likely that the National Weather Service has now increased this this area of tornado warned area. This is now including a larger portion of northwestern Harris County or northern Harris County until 2:30 until 2:30 this afternoon. And so we are expecting that to continue at least until 2:30 with this storm that is currently moving over northern Harris County right now. So if we could pop up radar right now as that system is currently moving off, this is the new area that we're looking at. This is in portions of northern Harris County. This is the new tornado warned area. We have seen this on air. We have just showed you that this rotating cloud that is moving over the northwest Houston is headed towards the Grand Parkway, over Champion Forest, even closer towards along Cypress Wood, even closer towards moving off towards the 45 area. So if you are in the Spring Klein area moving into or in northern Harris County, just keep in mind that we are expecting this to continue at least until 2 o'clock this afternoon for North Houston currently at the moment. So definitely expecting this to continue. We are looking at the latest scans right now of what the rotation is looking at, but we are definitely impacting or seeing this impact a large, some major area roadways across the area that currently is moving into northern Harris County. I'm going to go ahead and take a look here what the National Weather Service is saying, but we are seeing a new circulation that of course, as we look at for what's been keeping an eye from this system, it's looking like that we have actually had spotters confirm that this rotation that we were just looking at has made contact with the ground, maybe just briefly. I'm not entirely sure if that contact is still there, but we did see this briefly make contact with the ground according to a spotter from the National Weather Service, and that currently I have not heard any reports in terms of any damage, but just keep in mind that this area of rotating clouds and the rotation with this storm, with that funnel cloud associated with this storm, is now moving in towards the spring area. And so there you see like a different little area of shade of with this new warning that was just issued. And that's because that this has been an observed tornado from a spotter, a trained spotter with the National Weather Service, and that's what we're looking at right now in terms of this new area that they has just issued. So this does include 249, even along the Grand Parkway, now portions of Spring, south of Spring, along 249, south of the Woodlands. The Woodlands is actually included in this, and so just keep in mind that we are now seeing those conditions now clear off of 249 in Gessner. That's in the Willowbrook area, but we are definitely expecting this to continue. It's more of a northeastern track, at least into the next maybe 15 to 20 minutes here as that storm is moving off and already past Cypress. If you're in Cypress, you're probably seeing the skies clear up a bit, but for northern Harris County, we are seeing those ominous conditions now just bring some heavy rain, some lightning, and we did see rotation. We have confirmed rotation on radar. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and we're taking a look at the weather tracker right now, and this is inbound at 290, about to head closer towards the 249 area, if I'm not mistaken. And so if we're able to take that full, and you're able to just see those clouds off in the distance of how ominous it looks out there as it heads towards where this tornado warned storm. And so if you look towards the right or to the left of your screen, you're able to see where that rain currently is as this continues a more of a northwestern track here, but we are expecting those roadways to become pretty wet. They are pretty slick out there, and so I think for the most part, if you are north of Houston, it's really not a good idea to be traveling in these conditions as this tornado warned area continues moving towards the spring area, and the National Weather Service is keeping that in place until 2:30 this afternoon, and so we are expecting that to continue moving to be in place at least until 2:30. So this is really just, we're not out of the woods yet, and I think for the most part that if you are traveling north of Houston, we are seeing this to continue. I'm going to go ahead and as our weather tracker here is about to take he's about to take the Grand Parkway exit going north, and we're about to see more of the storm structure from our weather tracker that's currently heading directly towards that storm on the Grand Parkway, which is heading towards the Tomball area. Look at that. You're able to see those clouds and where that wall of rain is off into the distance as folks that are currently driving. The folks that are, yeah, there you go. You're seeing a better view of the storm from the outside. This is in Cypress, and they're leaving the Cypress area and they're heading directly towards 249 in the Grand Parkway area, and you're just able to see the wall of rain that's off into the distance and these ominous clouds that are currently across the area. And so, folks are driving a little slower, but you're just able to see, from the distance. You don't have to be in the storm. You could probably see these storms from the Houston area as you're able to see now, but you're able to see, I think those are Mamatis clouds that are currently over. And usually when you see those Mamatis clouds, look at that. That's 249 in Chasewood Park. That's in the Vintage Park area. That's the near the Kikarillo Misher Preserve. That is really just showing the darkness and the ominous conditions as that storm is continuing to move past 249. I think that's the outer edge of the storm. I think that this is the storm that's actually leaving that area. That is leaving this area that you see right now, but this is moving closer towards. So as we look at radar, and so kind of comparing it to where you see on your screen, that's 249 in Chasewood. So that's about right around here. I think Cypress Wood is right there. Then you have Chasewood Park, you have Loetta around this area. That's the storm, that camera that you see is the storm actually leaving that area. And now as we take a look closer where that tornado warned area is, it's closer towards the Grand Parkway in and around the Spring area. So if I can go ahead and probably tell the control room to look at cameras along 45 in the Grand Parkway, I think that we could start seeing more of the conditions along 45 start deteriorating across that area, especially as we head into the next couple of minutes here. So as we look at the situation in terms of rotation to see if what rotation is happening, we did see that rotation. National Weather Service, what I just told you about that rotation that we saw on camera just about a few minutes ago, National Weather Service is confirming that. That was clearly visible rotation from this storm near 249 in Grant, and the spotter that was watching that system was not too far from that. So I think for the most part that spotter did see this make contact with the ground. But as we look at the situation right now, we are expecting this to seeing this more of a rain-wrapped situation. So I think for the most part that the current situation with this storm is that you're not going to be able to see this rotation, but with the circulation that's currently happening over portions of northern Harris County, I know we just saw that briefly, but I think for the most part that we're now starting to see the situation become rain-wrapped as it continues this northern track. So even if you try to go out and see if you see rotation, you're not really going to see it because rain is falling too heavy in the area as it's making its way off of Grand Parkway in the Spring area. So you have near the Woodlands, near the Grand Parkway, even for portions of the Montgomery County are now included under that tornado warning, which we are looking at right now. And this is I-45 North at Cypress Wood. And I know I just showed you that storm was leaving. Okay, this is looking at I-45 North in Loetta, looking pretty ominous out there. And this is where that storm is headed. If you see those gray clouds moving into that area, just keep in mind that this storm is actually headed towards you, and you're able to still see some wet roadways across I-45 North in the Hardy Toll Road that's near the Bush Airport currently right now. I think for the most part, this is looking at Hardy Toll Road, some more of these angles that are currently moving, they're currently trying to track to see where this is at right now, but you're able to see more of these ominous conditions starting to move. This is I-45 North in Rayford. I think this is the area where we're going to start having to be paying attention to within the next few minutes, as rain for this area is about to become a lot heavier, and you're about to start seeing more of that dangerous lightning moving into that area within the next few minutes. The good news about this, though, is that we have seen less lightning with this storm, and so that's just a sign that the storm is potentially weakening just a bit, but we still have some very heavy rain and some dangerous lightning with it. You're able to see the lightning strikes currently with this storm become currently within the next few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and look at our situation in terms of what we're looking at right now of roadways. Just keep in mind that as we head into the next few minutes, we are expecting to see these conditions start deteriorating for the I-45 North area within the next few minutes. So just keep in mind that we are expecting this to potentially start impacting the Spring Woodlands area maybe within the next few minutes. So not looking at any debris on detector right now. Not even see any debris signatures on our debris detector. I was just looking to see if that tornado actually caused debris to be lifted out into the air for the most part. And so I think we're seeing a new update now coming in from the National Weather Service with this storm that is currently moving into northern Harris County. It's looking more likely that they could start potentially increasing the area of this storm. I think that we've seen a little bit of weakening with this system as it continues. It's into the spring area, but for the most part, this storm has a history of producing that tornado across northern Harris County. Go ahead and send over to Jeremy Rogalski for more on what's happening elsewhere across Houston.
Yeah, Chris, thank you. And again, it bears repeating some major travel headaches and hassles for folks this afternoon because of this storm. Currently, there is a ground stop at Bush Intercontinental in place until at least 2:30 this afternoon. According to the FAA, the average delays for flights at this hour are averaging 75 minutes, and there is a note that could be increasing. Obviously, you have a schedule of planes to depart. When those start to get backed up, it creates a domino effect. So a lot of headache and havoc on the north side for travelers departing and coming into Bush Intercontinental. So make sure to check with your airline in terms of the latest for your specific flight. No major reports of damage thus far, but we are actively monitoring various first responding agencies. We did get a report from the Cy-Fair Fire Department saying it had some reports of traffic signal lights that were out around Highway 290 and Telge. Fire Department officials telling us they do believe that it is weather related. They are trying to get us some video of that scene. But so far, at least, no reports of any major damage to any businesses, to any homes, which is good news. But obviously, the heart of this storm, as we've seen from Chris tracking it this afternoon, is right above basically Bush Intercontinental right now. And again, the reason for the ground stop at the big airport, at least until 2:30. That ground stop has been in effect, I would say, for at least the past half hour. According to the website FlightAware, there's approximately upwards of 150 flights that are delayed. And of course, as we mentioned, according to the FAA, the average delay for those flights, 75 minutes. And there is also a note that the probability of extending this ground stop is medium, around 40 to 60% of increasing and extending that ground stop. So we will keep tabs on that in terms of the FAA and travel arrangements at Bush Intercontinental. Chris, we're going to send it back to you, and this is still moving in a northeasterly direction, I see.
Right, it is. It is still moving northeast. We've seen way less lightning with this storm as it was just about a few minutes ago, and that's a sign that the storm is weakening a bit, but there is still rotation with this currently, as you're seeing some of the heavier rainfall now approaching the Grand Parkway and I-45 area. So you're able to see the lightning as the lightning strikes start decreasing or becoming less frequent. That's really just a sign that the storm is weakening, but we are still tracking some rotation with this storm as we go into the next couple of minutes. So definitely expecting those conditions to still be very hazardous out there. I think the rotation has really well broadened currently as it moves over 45, I-45 and the Spring area, which is very good news. But the National Weather Service, we've seen this storm show a history of just very strengthening and weakening, a cycle of strengthening and weakening as we head into within the past 30 minutes to an hour. So they're going to go ahead and still keep that tornado warning in place for 2:30 in the afternoon. And we're now starting to see roadway conditions, especially along 45 and the Grand Parkway. This is 45 in Cypresswood, even north, just to the north of the Loetta, 245 and Loetta area. And so just keep in mind that if you are moving off towards portions of northern Harris County, this storm is actually heading closer towards for portions of I-69, just south of Cut and Shoot. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a bit here so we can see what's happening elsewhere. It's looking likely that we're seeing another storm starting to approach the city of Houston from the south of downtown. And so this is a little bit, this is not showing any rotation or it's not severe right now, but just keep in mind that if you are in Houston, in the center portions of town, that you do have some heavy rain coming our way within the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes as we see a couple of lightning strikes with that storm to the south of downtown Houston. But our main priority right now is what's happening north of town, which is this does still have that tornado warning until 2:30 this afternoon. And so we are expecting this to continue at least until the next few minutes here. And so we have seen some confirmed reports of just this rotating cloud that was moving over the 249 area. It's very likely that this is no longer happening with this storm, but as we look at the situation in terms of the area, we are expecting that to continue. Now, toward the strongest part of the storm is now moving into portions of southern Montgomery County as we head into the next few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and look at the confirmed report right now with train spotter reports. Did spot a tornado in around the 249 area. I didn't see any debris signatures on our debris detector, but that doesn't mean that didn't happen. But we are expecting this to continue. It's more of a northeastern track, especially along 45 and the Grand Parkway. And like I said, we've seen less lightning with this storm within the past 5 to 10 minutes. And this is a sign that this individual storm right here is weakening. And so, but like I said, we've seen the history of this storm just going through a cycle of weakening and strengthening as it was over western Harris County, but now we are still seeing this weaken, just sort of weaken a bit, and then it very well could come into contact with some more unstable air as it travels to the northeast, north and around the Kingwood area. And so just keep in mind that just south of Cleveland, you're going to start seeing the impacts from this storm here along I-69 within the next few minutes, and as we head into the next few minutes here across our area. So definitely still watching this tornado warning storm. We're still staying on the air with you, so you are still informed of the weather impacts that are currently happening across our area. But just keep in mind also that the tornado warning or the tornado watch, however, is going to be in place at least until, I believe it's going to be in place until 7 p.m. tonight, as these line of storms are still approaching from the west. And this is all a part of this initial boundary that's currently moving through portions of central Texas. And so I think 45 right now, I know as we're getting into a high travel period, and you might want to, if you're heading towards Dallas, there is some strong storms even south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but even Huntsville looking at a strong storm or two that is now moving into that situation. And so it's looking like we're hearing some damage reports currently that are now coming into the newsroom. We'll go ahead and send it back over to Jeremy Rogowski on the latest.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we have 2 damage reports. The first coming from Emergency Services District 11, a public information spokesperson there. This is on Stubner Airline in Spring, saying that their building was one of their outbuildings on the property at ESD 11 was just hit. Don't have a estimate on it says it was destroyed, one of their outbuildings on that property, and that spokesperson describes it as small debris floating from the sky like pool floaties. Again, this is on the 18,000 block of Stubner Airline in Spring. Also coming in from the Harris County Flood Control District, and meteorologist Jeff Lindner, possible reports of structure damage near Loetta, east of 249 and Klein. So we're beginning to see some reports of some structure damage, one on Stubner Airline in the Spring area, one just east of 249 and Klein near Luletta Road. Chris, this is the area that I would say now past the heart of that storm, passed over about 10 minutes ago. Hopefully, as you mentioned, that the storm is weakening. We don't see any more damage reports. But again, 2 coming in so far. Possible structure damage east of 249 near Luletta in Spring, and an outbuilding belonging to the Emergency Services District number 11 on Stubner Airline was destroyed. We've been mentioning, it continues to bear repeating, that this storm also causing some travel headaches for folks at Bush Intercontinental. Upwards of 150 flights delayed on average for about 75 minutes. There is an active ground stop at Bush Intercontinental at least until 2:30. And I am told that we have someone on the phone, and forgive me, I did not hear who. If we can go to them right now. Okay, I'm gonna bring this over here. This is live TV here, folks. So we have Klein Fire Department, Jamila Lomas. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Give us a description of what you're seeing, where you are, and any reports of damage.
Can you repeat that one more time? You're breaking up.
Sure. Can you give us an update on any damage reports in your area and describe what those are, please?
Correct. So the tornadoes seem to touch down around Hooks Airport area, going down Stubner Airline. It either passed through or crossed over the Klein Fire Department's administration building, and there was a lot of fence damage, damage to one of our shacks. A trailer went across the parking lot. There was slight damage to our gas refill area. And right now I'm on scene where we have multiple reports of structure damage. We've got power lines that are down, a lot of trees that are down in the area between Stubner and Spring Cypress, and along the Memorial Northwest area around 249.
And Ms. Lomas, approximately when did this hit? Was it all in one instance, or was it over a gradual period of time?
Gradual period. I'd have to check my doors. Give me a second. What time is it now?
It's about 2 o'clock
Anywhere
right
between,
now.
Smoke investigation came at 1:45. 1:40 to about 1:50.
Okay, so in the last half an hour, and again, you had some fence damage. A trailer, you said, was moved from?
One of our, I want to call it a shack, one of our sheds. And they're still assessing the damage. I left to go to another scene. So I'm not on site right now to assess the damage. I'm at a scene of other damage.
All right. Fortunately, no reports of injuries so far. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. That's Amelia Lomas with the Klein Fire Department. We appreciate your time very much. So again, Chris, you can hear, and this matches up with what the maps were showing and what you've been tracking over the past hour, that area on Stubner Airline and Klein sustaining some structure damage. Also, we have a report from CenterPoint Energy, currently more than 160 outages, 27,000 customers still out, the majority of those in the northern Harris County area. And I'm told we have someone else on the phone. This is Miranda Chepsik, who is with ESD 11. Miranda, can you hear me? We're trying to get Miranda Chepsik with the ESD 11, who initially sent us a text saying that there was some structure damage at an outbuilding there. Miranda, if you can hear me, please give us an update of what you're seeing and what your emergency services district sustained. All right, we're still trying to get Miranda Chepsik on the phone. Chris,
Yes.
I'm going to send it back to you for now. So What we're hearing now from these officials really was in the last half hour, things have moved on to the northeast.
That is the case, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you where on the map we have seen this confirmed tornado and where most of that damage has taken place. And this is directly to where you see that little icon right there along Grant Road, along Lowetta 249 area is where we're seeing more of those reports that are starting to trickle in. And this was a confirmed report from a trained spotter, and we've already heard that from several emergency agencies that a storm spotter reported that funnel cloud near Grant Road and then observed the funnel cloud reaching the ground as a weak tornado. And we're able to confirm that with some of the damage reports that we have seen or have heard from the Klein Fire Department in portions of northwestern Harris County. So right around there is where this was spotted, and this moved off along Stubner Airline and maybe the Lowetta Road area. And so just keep in mind that this did cause some damage for that area. As we take a look right now where the current storm is, we are still looking at this new tornado warning that was just issued for portions of Montgomery County. So this is now moving along I-45 in the Spring area as the National Weather Service is keeping that in place at least until 2:30 this afternoon. And so as we look at the latest warning with this is showing still some heavy rainfall along I-45 as we go into closer towards 2:30. Is we still seeing some rotation with that as it moves across 45 in and around the Spring area and around the Woodlands area, Shenandoah. That's where you're starting to see more of this storm moving into that area currently at the moment. So we're keeping an eye on this storm as it continues its more of a northern track within the last few minutes here, but just keep in mind that we are also looking at this rotation that was with this storm that was over portions of 249. And I think that we are expecting this to continue moving off towards the Spring area, but right now it's moved out of the Klein area now into northern Harris and Montgomery County, but the National Weather Service still keeping this tornado warning in place until 2:30. Now let's go back to Jeremy Rogowski on more on some damage reports.
Thanks, Chris. I'm joined by Miranda Sefcik, who is with the Emergency Services District number 11, who texted us a minute ago about some structural damage there. Miranda, if you can hear me, please give us an update on what you all sustained in your area.
Yeah, sure. So we're right next door to Klein Fire Department. We are in a metal building with metal shutters, so we got lucky. We were able to shut the shutters and not feel much in our main building, but we have an outbuilding that we call the limo barn where we have some service vehicles and equipment, and we had two of our maintenance folks in there when the tornado hit. The building itself was completely demolished. They were okay, thankfully. We have accounted for everyone, and there were no injuries. But to hear them tell it, it was really something. And they've never been through anything like that, as you can imagine. But again, the building is completely demolished, and we do have an active gas leak in the front. A couple trees down around the campus. We're on a pretty big campus here off Stubner Airline, but again, everyone is accounted for, and the ambulances were not affected. Neither were any of the buildings that house and maintain the ambulances. So emergency medical services will continue, so our operations have not been affected.
So, number one, tell me exactly where you are located, and then I'm curious about this outbuilding where your two maintenance workers were inside. Is that also a metal type of structure, or kind of give us a feel for how that was built, just to be indicative of the power of this thing that rolled through?
Sure. So we are on a 44-acre campus here between Spring Cypress and Lowetta on Stubner Airline. We have a number of outbuildings. The one that was completely destroyed was by far the oldest and weakest, and that's why we just used it for sort of a maintenance storage shed. That just folded like tissue paper. It's completely demolished.
And the workers were actually inside that structure?
They were inside the structure when it hit, yes. They said it went dead silent. All of a sudden they heard a great deal of rain on the outside. The building itself is metal, but again, it's not really structurally modern. So it kind of folded like an outbuilding shed would fold. And one was able to hunch down, cover his head. The other one was hanging onto a rack of some kind and was able to protect himself. So thankfully, again, they were shaken up, but no injuries.
Yeah, that is miraculous considering basically, like you said, the structure folded on top of them while they were inside. We did hear from one of your counterparts at Klein Fire Department. They had a fence, some fence damage, and a trailer that was moved. Did anybody, I'm curious, actually see a touchdown of a funnel cloud in that area, or was it more, you know, it just rolled through and then bam?
Well, thanks to weather alerts, we were given the watch and then the warning. So immediately we went into lockdown mode. We shut our shutters. We all went to the lowest part of the building, into our designated area for protection for the employees. We're fully staffed, so everybody's here. And those folks, they just got stuck in that building. They couldn't make it back in time. And so they just did the best that they could. But again, thankfully, no one was hurt. The campus has some significant damage, but again, it's not going to affect emergency services for our district.
That is good news. And as we're looking at radar here, the worst of it seems to have passed you by. So I'm sure you're going to spend the next few hours into the evening assessing damage. And if there's any pictures or video you can share with our newsroom, we certainly would appreciate it.
Yes, we do have security cameras everywhere. We're trying to pull up some footage. If we can get any of that, we'll let you know.
Thanks so much. That's Miranda Sefcik with Emergency Services District number 11. So Chris, hearing that tale of those two maintenance workers coming in or out in an outbuilding, and as she described it, kind of folding on top of them. Granted, she said it was a weaker structure that had certainly an older structure and perhaps not very secure, but boy, they can thank their lucky stars that they're safe, shaken up, but nothing more serious.
Right, that is the case. That's very fortunate for them, and it's always one of those things that when tornadoes come through, it's like no building is 100% safe. It's more so what structure that you're in. There is a possibility that it could happen. That could happen where that just happened about a few minutes ago. But right now, we did see that rotation on our cameras, the Houston TranStar camera that we showed you a few minutes ago as it was moving over 249, and that's that rotation that was just really that you saw right there where that confirmed report is. You see that icon is where we saw that confirmed report, which was near Grant Road. But currently right now, the storm that was producing this rotation has significantly weakened. We're still seeing some heavy rain and lightning moving I-45, and then we're seeing some of the lightning sort of just diminish with this system. But to the south of there, even across the city of Houston, we're seeing some heavy rain moving into portions of southeast Houston right now. I think for the most part, there's not a severe storm with this, but that's some heavy rain and lightning moving into South Houston. And for the most part, that we're looking at that tornado warned area. The National Weather Service still keeping it in place because it very well could run into more unstable atmosphere. But as we look at to see a closer view of where this was at, this is that confirmed report in around near Grant Road, where the spotter observed the funnel cloud. And I want to say, as we take a look at this right now, I believe that this little rotation just sort of moved off into the northeast. It moved off towards Cypresswood, Louetta, even Stubner Airline area. That is where this was spotted. This is the spotted location from the spotter. This is not where it was located per se, but this was where the spotter located that funnel cloud as it moved off towards the northeast, towards Stubner Airline and portions of the Klein area. So definitely we're seeing those damage reports now starting to trickle in from that as this storm is continuing to move into portions of northern and Harris County and Montgomery County area. So definitely keep in mind that we still have, we're not out of the woods yet. I know that we're seeing some quieting, the storms quiet down, but we still have to wait until these storms off towards the west of us in around the Huntsville area, even just to the west of Bryan College Station. These are going to start pushing still our way, and this could potentially bring more strong storms as we progress through the rest of our evening and afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and show you our future track to show you exactly what is to take place here, and this is why we've kept that weather impact alert in place for today. So as we look at our future track, we are expecting this to continue, these storms continuing to push into portions of Houston as we head into the next maybe an hour or so, but we're also expecting this to continue showing signs of strengthening as we progress through the evening. So looking at future track right now, we are expecting this to continue. We could see maybe another strong storm between the hours of 3:30 to 4 p.m. But right now, like I said, it's these storms that are off to the west that are still having to push into Houston, and it's not really going to be out of the woods yet until at least 9 o'clock tonight. So 9 o'clock tonight through 10 p.m. tonight, we could see more of these stronger storms moving into Houston, and Houston's still going to be more so under the gun for some severe weather as we head into the overnight hours. So something to keep an eye on for 9 to 10 o'clock, even 11:30. We're going to still continue to track some pretty heavy rain with this as we go into later this evening. And these are not going to be nearing the coast at least until 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. So it is quiet in some locations after these storms have moved through, but we're now expecting more so of these storms to continue at least until 5 a.m. And the threats do include a tornado, wind, and hail threat like we have seen already. This is going to be impacting travel across the Houston area as those storms are continuing to push through our area within the next few hours. So definitely, as we look at the situation for the next few hours, we're not out of the woods yet. We are still tracking some of those storms off towards the west that still have to move into the Houston area. So we're not out of the woods. We still have to wait until these move through within the next few hours. At least until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is when we're going to start seeing this boundary move into Houston, and that's going to spawn off another round of storms for us here later on this evening. Jeremy?
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We are tracking damage reports. We're also tracking the status of your power at home or at your business. Currently, CenterPoint Energy showing about 188 outages as we zoom in on the map here. A cluster of those in that area in the north side of Harris County. As we zoom into the Grand Parkway here, you can see several outages there, about 6,800 along the Grand Parkway. A total of just shy of 28,000 outages reported by CenterPoint Energy. For perspective, that really is fairly minimal so far. And we've heard of several reports of damage in the Klein area. You're looking at some video in the Klein area from our weather tracker camera. You can see emergency vehicles there. We just got off the phone with officials from the Klein Fire Department as well as ESD, Emergency Services District 11. The two are neighbors off of Stuber Airline, roughly between Spring Cypress and Louetta. Klein Fire reports some damage to a fence. A trailer was moved. And at the ESD 11 complex, a rather harrowing situation. Two maintenance workers, as we work to get our video signal back up, two maintenance workers at ESD 11 were in an outbuilding when the suspected tornado hit. That building folded on top of those maintenance workers. We're told from a spokesperson at that agency that one of them was able to crouch down, another one was able to brace themselves on some sort of a rack. After that storm blew through, they were certainly shaken up, but no injuries reported to either of those. We have a crew en route to that location, and we're told those two maintenance workers are willing to share their stories, so we will be hearing from them. Back to the weather tracker, if we can take that video. This is, okay, that was from Colony Creek Village, which is just north of Louetta. So Chris, as we're kind of piecing together all these damage reports, it seems like the heart of them, at least initially, are along the that corridor of Stuber Airline between roughly Louetta and Spring Cypress, which, if we kind of rewound time about a half an hour, really correlates with what you were seeing on radar, does it not?
That does correlate. The damage that we saw, the funnel cloud that we saw crossing over 249 definitely was that moment, was when that rotation was heading over portions of northwest Houston. Right now, the National Weather Service, I believe, has allowed that tornado warning to expire, and so we are in good news in terms of that, but we're also looking at another strong storm with some heavy rain off to southeast Houston. But like Jeremy was just saying, that we did see that confirmed report, as you you see right here on your screen near the Grant Road area, and that definitely had a more of a track across portions of just to the north of 1960. So this is just an estimate. This is not the exact track, but I believe you have Lowetta, you have 249 right there as it crossed over 249. We saw that when it was currently over. This is what we saw, where we saw that funnel cloud move over the Lowetta area, the 249 area, and that's where for some of that damage is. This is just a rough estimate. This is not a confirmed track, but this is just giving you an idea of where that funnel was currently. But currently right now, the good news is that we have seen this expire across our area, but we are expecting to see that the system continue its more so weaken. But like I said, we are just not out of the woods yet. We still have a stronger storm to the south of downtown, which this is showing some signs of strengthening, but we are expecting to see this continue. It's more of a northern track here as this storm south of, this is near the Hobby Airport area. So I'm going to go ahead and show you along I-45 closer towards Hobby Airport. So both of our airports here in Houston are being impacted by storms right now. So first we were looking at that storm impacting the George Bush Intercontinental Airport, and now Hobby Airport is looking at a storm just to the north of there, and we are seeing some strengthening with this storm that is just to the south of downtown Houston currently right now. This is not severe warned. We haven't seen any severe characteristics quite yet, but this is just kind of a sign that something that we're going to have to keep an eye on within the next couple of minutes here as this moves into portions of southeast Houston. So just keep in mind that mostly as we head into the next few hours, we are expecting this to continue its movement across our area. But other than that, the good news, storms weakening right now, but another storm south of downtown that is showing some heavy rain and some lightning. Jeremy.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We want to go to live pictures. This is the Colony Creek Village area. You can see first responders there at the edge of a road with some significant tree damage here. For folks not familiar with this area, we're talking just east of 249, just north of Lowetta. Again, Colony Creek Village. Colony Creek Drive at Bayou Bluff Drive, we are told, and you could already see some folks out with the chainsaws trying to clear that debris that has at least partially fallen on a vehicle there. This is the area that, as we've been hearing anecdotal reports starting to come in of damage that was the hardest hit, at least that we know of so far. Again, we're talking east of 249 between Lowetta Road to the south and Spring Cypress Road to the north. Stubner Airline Road is just to the east of this location. We heard from two agencies there, the Klein Fire Department as well as the Emergency Services District number 11. Klein Fire experienced some structural damage to a fence, some fence damage. We're also told a trailer was also moved from where it was in place. And then next door at ESD 11, they also had some damage there, including an outbuilding where two maintenance workers were inside that was completely destroyed. Fortunately, no serious injuries there. So we've been on the air now for about an hour, and I want to bring in Chief Meteorologist David Paul just to offer some additional context and perspective to what he's seeing now and going forward. David?
Both of the thunderstorm cells that we're tracking, the one that produced this, looks like it may have produced a tornado in northwest Harris County, did the damage to the outbuilding at the Emergency Services District 11 up there. They're both weakening. There's another one going through the heart of the Houston area right now, also weakening. Lightning count has settled down. You can see the radar behind me. The lightning has let up. That's an indication that the storms are weakening. So it looks like this tornadic thunderstorm went through northwest Harris County, and it appears has done very minor damage. That's the good news. Looks like we may have gotten away without seeing a big tornado on the ground. We're not getting any reports of any significant damage, no significant damage to homes so far. There may be some damage. There may have been a tree come down here and there that's laid on a roof up there. Storm took a track through the Cypress area, up through Tomball, tracking across the Spring area now, but it's weakening rapidly. And as Chris Ramirez mentioned just a moment ago, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So at the moment, there are no tornado warnings. But what we have is a very volatile atmosphere. And you're taking a look at some of the action out in the Klein area. We are getting reports of some damage in the Klein area from this storm. So again, we're waiting to see what that is. If it's just some tree damage or more significant, we'll bring that to you as soon as we can. But at the moment, storms are settling down a little bit. The thing is, the atmosphere is very unstable. If you walk outside, you can feel the humidity in the atmosphere, and it's got a south breeze feeding moisture into these storms, and so we're going to remain under the threat for potentially some severe weather now through the tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. We may see more strong thunderstorms late into the evening. And let me just show you what the Weather Service has right now as far as watches up right now. Tornado watch is in effect for basically the northern half of southeast Texas, including Fort Bend County, Harris County, Waller, Austin, Liberty County, and everybody to the north of that until 7 o'clock this evening. That's when our tornado watch is in effect, and that means okay, so we do have our photographer, our videographer, Sergio Soto, talking with someone out there in the Klein area, I believe. Let's listen in.
We're going to take a lot of it. So explain to the folks at home, so what happened? You were at home and what, give it to me, give me a scenario one more time.
Yeah, so I just got home from work and the warning came across my phone to make sure to get inside. And so we looked up and the clouds were moving really fast and you hear the sound of a freight train. And as I walked in the door, it sucked the door out of my hand, managed to get it closed and went to a small room inside.
Who was at home with you?
Myself and my sister's fiance.
You all went into a small room?
Yep. Closed the door, waited for the sound to end.
And then this big tree, it almost missed your house? What happened?
It did, yeah. It uprooted limbs, it landed on the car, trees around us came down. It's pretty scary.
Your home was okay? Is your car okay?
I think so. I think it's just being weighted down. We'll know a little bit more once we get the chainsaw through it.
Okay, and what's your name again?
Fern.
Fern. Thank you, Fern.
Thank you.
David, back to you. I'll try to find somebody else.
All right, thank you, Sergio Soto out there getting the interviews for us. So it looks like we've got some significant tree damage in parts of northwest Harris County. I believe she said she's in the Klein area. We have reports of lots of minor damage in Klein. Again, we're just getting the pictures to you and the reports and seeing what's damaged. I think this is what we're seeing a lot of right here. Trees uprooted and toppled over. There's some fence damage there. You know, just looking at this damage is very reminiscent of a EF0 or EF1 tornado. I'm just totally looking at this and speculating right now. Those are on the low end, but it goes to show you, this is why we take these so seriously. Even the smallest of tornadoes can do this, knock over these big trees, and then that can do significant damage to your home and, of course, be very dangerous to life as well. So these are scenes from the Klein area, northwest Harris County, where literally just in the last few minutes, a thunderstorm cell that was warned for a possible tornado has gone through. Look at that huge tree. Look at that. Just uprooted, the whole tree knocked over. It looks like that may have missed the house, but you can see how dangerous even these small tornadoes can be. Had that hit that house, we would have a whole nother picture out there. It looks like that one missed it. And you just kind of wonder, as we're out and about right now, we have crews all over the place looking for damage, getting reports, helping people if we can, that we probably have at least some trees on houses out there. If we don't, we're going to end up being very, very lucky. So just to reboot the weather part of this, during the past hour, we've had a tornado-warned thunderstorm move across northwest Harris County and North Harris County, through the Klein area, Cypress area, through the Tomball area, and then up towards Spring. That storm has now weakened. In fact, you're looking at it right now. Let me zoom out to set your bearings. There's the Houston area, and then we'll zoom in on this storm, and that's what's left of the tornadic thunderstorm. There's no lightning with it. It's literally dying out right in front of us. So that has weakened rapidly after being a very dangerous thunderstorm. As we look across the area, there's another storm that we are watching carefully. And I see now this one has popped a lightning strike near the Channelview area. Let me just put this in motion for you. I'll show you the loop on this one for the past hour. So this is one that we will be watching carefully, and there it is, moving off, racing off to the northeast. These storms are racing at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. This one is not warned, only has had a little bit of lightning and thunder with it. It's producing brief heavy rain. And again, we'll stop the radar. I'll zoom in where this heavy rain is right now. So folks watching us from, there we go, Galena Park, Magnolia Park, Highway 225, where it meets the 610 loop out there. Once again, one of our crews talking with folks in the Klein and Northwest Harris County area. Let's listen in.
My neighborhood, because I live almost 2 minutes away across, and I was actually at the Dollar Tree right here.
So tell me, you saw it forming up in the, you looked up and you saw it forming. Was it a wide tornado? Was it a real narrow tornado?
It was really almost like narrow, quick, and it traveled really fast.
Yeah. Did you hear it all? You just saw it?
Just a much thunder and really cracking. That's when you know the trees were coming down.
Did you see any debris being picked up or anything?
Yeah, there was a lot of debris. I was inside the store when it was happening, much of it, but then the power went out to many stores and also the HEB.
So, well, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
David, that really helps. He described a thin, what we call a rope tornado, very thin tornado. Those are usually the weakest ones, EF0, EF1. But this picture right here on your screen is why we take them so seriously, because that tree comes down on your house and your life is at serious risk. And so that's why we've broken into programming. We've been on the air with you here for the past hour. Again, tornado warned thunderstorm that apparently, with eyewitness accounts, did produce at least a weak tornado. Say that one more. Okay, so we can confirm it was a tornado. Okay, we're just confirming. We've had video of the actual tornado, the funnel cloud, and that's quite often what these little ones will do. Is the storm overhead will be rotating. It'll drop down just to treetop level. A very thin EF0, EF1 tornado, winds maybe up to 85, 90 miles an hour or so. And it won't ever actually touch the ground, but it will knock over trees. And it will produce winds at the surface that can knock over your fence and create a very dangerous situation. We spoke earlier, and there it is. You can see the rotation of the cloud. That's a classic, funnel cloud that's just grazing the treetops. Right there you can see it. That appears to be grazing treetops. So they don't even have to actually touch the ground to cause very dangerous conditions on the ground. And that is what we are seeing. Northwest Harris County, Klein area, Spring Cypress, Loretto Road out there in the Spring Cypress area, with not just reports, but pictures of trees down, big trees that have come down, fence damage. But so far, Jeremy, we don't have any reports of any major roof damage caused by the wind. Yeah. But these, you can see how dangerous even these little ones are with the size of the trees that have come down.
And it's important to note, David, for folks just joining us, kind of the heart of the damage that we have confirmed so far, to set everybody's bearings here. We're talking about east of 249, Highway 249, between 249 and Stubner Airline Road, and then from south to north from Loretto Road to Spring Cypress Road. So we just saw live pictures and we heard from some residents. Our photographer Sergio Soto was in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. He was actually at the corner of Colony Creek Drive and Bayou Bluff Drive. So again, if you were to draw a box between 249 and Stubner Airline and then Spring Cypress Road from the north down to Loretto Road to the south, that appears to be kind of the heart of the damage. We saw the video from the ground and heard from residents there. We also got reports from two agencies right in that area. One, the Klein Fire Department. A spokesman there tells us they sustained some fence damage and a trailer was moved. And then next door to that, Emergency Services District number 11, Miranda Shefsik telling us that they hunkered down and when it rolled through, they sustained some damage to an outbuilding, and in fact, two maintenance workers got caught inside one of those outbuildings that completely, as Miranda described it, folded and was completely destroyed while those workers were inside. Fortunately, we're told they were certainly shaken up, but sustained no serious injuries. we have a crew en route to talk to them. In terms of other impacts to this storm, one, a ground stop, travel at Bush Intercontinental. A ground stop was in effect till 2:30. We're still monitoring to see if that's been extended. Upwards of 170 flights delayed. According to the FAA, the average delay, 75 minutes at the big airport. And then Centerpoint and power outages. Right now we're tracking, according to the company's outage tracker, approximately 21,000 customers without power. In the great scheme of things, for perspective, that is a very small number, which is good news. And circling back to the overall damage, David, it bears repeating, it seems, at least thus far, we're talking about minor damage and no reports of injuries. But as you say, you look at those, 3 feet diameter live oaks coming down, boy, a lot of folks are really lucky. I mean, one barely missed a house, another, well, here you can see a vehicle. Hopefully that is just property damage and no damage and no injuries to life. But boy, oh boy, that is some picture we're looking at right now.
And Jeremy, this is just such a great example. This is why, even for these EF0, EF1 tornadoes that are on the low end, we break in online on the app so that you know what's going on, you can take action. Okay, this is the owner of the vehicle right here. Let's listen in.
So tell me what happened. Were you at home when this happened?
I was at home. I heard the warning came through the phone, and I closed the window, and that was all I was able to do. All of a sudden, it was that proverbial freight train running through the middle of the yard. Sure enough, the backyard, the tree came down, knocked down my awning and everything back there, and then I moved to the front, and the whole front was gone.
How grateful are you that you're not sitting in your truck or about to go to work or anything?
Very grateful I was inside. Never sit in the car, that's for sure.
How much damage do you have to your home?
Oh, it's a lot of damage. The whole back is gone. The whole front, as you can see here, both of these cars are damaged. I don't know. I'm trying to get a hold of Allstate so they can come and tarp up the roof. The roof is 2 weeks old. Just put it on, yeah.
You have some roof damage?
In the back, there's some roof damage that needs to be tarped up before the rain.
How long do you live here?
Only 2.5 years.
So, is this your work truck or something? Looks like
No, this is somebody that was working at the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's your personal car back there?
That's my personal car, yeah.
Okay.
Only had 60,000 miles. Now it's going to be total.
Are you glad you're okay, then?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
David, back to you.
I am so glad to be talking to that gentleman about the damage to his house and car and not something else. That is great news. And we can only hope that that's going to be the situation across Northwest Harris County where trees came down. We've got some property damage. Gentleman said he has some roof damage. I'll be curious to see if that was caused by wind or if that's part of the tree damage. I believe he said he had a tree come down in his backyard as well. Come again?
Thing there, David.
Okay. So those are other great examples of why we take these so seriously with the tree threat to come down. Jason Miles is live, Northwest Harris County Emergency Services District 11, where it looks like what there is of this funnel cloud or tornado went right through and did some damage. Jason.
Background behind me here off Stubner Airline Road, you can see the main, more substantial building for the Harris County ESD 11. However, an outbuilding, a metal building, you see pieces of it stuck in the trees out here. It's a smaller building, again, outside of the main Harris County ESD 11 building. According to officials here, 2 employees happened to be in the building that was pretty much destroyed, this outbuilding. Fortunately, we understand that they were not injured in any way, but you can see what this storm did to the metal exterior of this building. To give you a better idea of where this is, we're on Stubner Airline, not far from Hooks Airport. I'm standing directly across the street from the Klein Fire Department Station Number 1. So we're talking about the property of ESD 11, an outbuilding. Not sure what goes on in that building, but according to officials here, 2 employees were inside at the time, but were not injured when this storm came through. You mentioned a funnel cloud. I wasn't sure if it was a funnel cloud or straight line winds, but I've covered enough tornadoes to know that that kind of aftermath is generally indicative of a swirling wind rather than a straight line wind. And our colleague Keith Thompson, who happens to live up in this area, just walked up to me and is showing me that a 6-inch gas line is also open here at the ESD 11 station. So that's why they're keeping us kind of back away from the actual scene here. They have the driveway going up to this building blocked off right now. And I can tell you also, in this area, we came through several major traffic intersections where the lights are not working, the traffic signals are not working. So that's something viewers and those listening definitely need to keep in mind as well. But again, to recap, here at Harris County ESD 11's main facility, an outbuilding was pretty much, as far as I can tell, destroyed by the storm that came through here earlier this afternoon. David?
Those pictures and all the pictures we're getting just tell the story. What we had was a funnel cloud that perhaps reached EF0 to EF1 strength. Those are winds 70 to 90 miles an hour. And it looks like, for the most part, it stayed just at treetop level. But it did have enough strength to knock over trees, and you can see more damage here. Again, this is Northwest Harris County. I believe this is in the Klein area. That looks like where a tree hit the corner of a roof, and that's what we're seeing is either these very weak structures like this outbuilding at ESD 11, the tin roof has been blown off by the strong winds, and then these big trees have come down and done serious damage to property. Northwest Harris County, Klein area. So far, no reports of any injuries, which is great news because the size of the trees that have come down have been significant. We saw a car that has just been totaled by a tree. There's damage to that vehicle right there, damage to the roof. Well, and there you go. That is a perfect example. These little tornadoes, these funnel clouds, it's called a funnel cloud when it just stays at treetop level, and that's what they'll do. They'll snap off the top third of a tree, and down it comes. And even though it's maybe just the minimal size funnel cloud / tornado, it can do serious life-threatening damage. And so that's why we're here, and that's why we're watching this so carefully. You know, you guys, why don't we do a radar check real quick, just so folks can see what's going on. Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, let's get to that. Just real quick, and then I want to get back to the pictures. Things have settled down. If you're just tuning in, we had a tornado warning thunderstorm go across Northwest Harris County. The significant tree damage, damage to property, has not caused any injuries that we know of so far. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire. There are no more warned thunderstorms. Where are the strongest storms right now? They're here. They're up across our northern counties, now moving into Walker County and across the northern side of Lake Livingston into Trinity County. Both of these storms are racing off to the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. There they are now moving into Huntsville. No severe weather warnings for them. I'm not seeing any signs of rotation, but we continue to watch carefully because a tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock. That means that conditions are favorable for the development of more tornadoes, more tornadic thunderstorms like the one we saw earlier, all the way through 7 o'clock. So Jeremy Rogowski, we've seen quite a bit of damage across the area. Let's take a look. Let's go over everything that we've seen as far as the damage across the area.
Thank you, David, and I'm joined by main anchor Len Cannon. Quite an afternoon in North Harris County.
Yeah.
Len, we've been kind of zeroing in on the heart of the damage, at least the reports that we've gotten so far. And it bears repeating, we're talking between 249 to the west and Stubner Airline to the east, and then north-south we're talking Spring Cypress Road to Luetta Road. And so in that path we have Colony Creek Village, where our photojournalist Sergio Soto was there. We heard from a couple of residents there, some close calls in that neighborhood.
I heard you mention about 21,000 people without power, relatively minor considering. This is the difficulty of forecasting weather in the area. Here we are in the Galleria area, and it's partly sunny and calm. And here up on the northwest side, we just had this funnel cloud and storm damage. And David talked about it being at tree level. The problem, of course, is when it hits a limb, where does the limb go? I've had that happen, to me at my house, where a limb goes flying onto the roof. Any lower, it's going through the window. So
absolutely,
it sounds like the damage is relatively minor with no injuries, and that's really good news.
We heard from one gentleman who did what we always preach to do. He heard the warning on the phone. He stayed inside, but when he came outside after it blew through, there was a big tree on a pickup truck that belonged to a worker. His personal car had some damage, and his 2-week-old roof sustained some damage as well.
2 weeks old.
Unfortunate, certainly for that gentleman, but he is well to talk about it, and it could have been much worse in that regard.
It's when the trees start going down, it can create so many different issues, whether it's on a roof, on a car, through a window, on a fence. You can see there like roofing, sheet metal roofing, which is very susceptible to high winds. So
this, Glenn, sorry to interrupt, is what we've been talking about this afternoon. This is the outbuilding at that 40-acre complex at Emergency Services District 11. 2 maintenance workers were inside that structure when the storm blew through. We were told by spokesperson Miranda Sefcik that one of them kind of crouched down, another one grabbed to some sort of rack on the wall to brace themselves.
Are they okay?
They were shaken up, but no injuries. And I know our Jason Miles is efforting interviews with them. But lots of lucky stories there, because you see that building just kind of fold under itself with 2 people inside.
I saw the warnings coming out earlier. It said till 7 o'clock. And then, of course, now we know how specific that warning was for the northwest side of our viewing area.
Also, the operations safety officer at Hooks Airport saying their main building sustained some damage. We don't know the extent of that. But again, if we map that out, going from southwest to northeast, it just tracked that line between Louetta and Spring Cypress, between 249 to Stubner Airline. And this all occurring about an hour and 20 or so minutes ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, according to David, this system is moving. It's tracking further north into Walker County. What issues will be there, we don't know. But then again, we've got an issue with tornadoes until 7 o'clock tonight to be on the lookout, because you just never know. We see conditions that can be right, and then suddenly, the weather team will go up, and wherever you see that red and purple, that is danger. So fortunately, we've had one incident and high winds.
All right, Sergio Soto, our photojournalist who's been doing great work out there, is talking to the Klein Fire Department.
Chief, can I get your name, title?
Yes, sir. Deputy Chief Stephen Kramer, Klein Fire Department.
Can you give us a status update on the situation here?
Yes, we had a tornado warning come through the area about 1:30, and when it did, it took down a number of heavily rooted trees. As you can see in this area, we have several that are down, blocking roads in the yards of many houses. We only have one confirmed house where there's heavy damage. The rest of the homes have already been looked at. Nobody's at home, everybody's out, it's okay. But we do have a lot of debris on the ground. Some of the roadways are blocked with the trees, and that's why we have Engine 33 over here. They're right now trying to get this tree out of the way to open up this roadway, and then we have a few others within the subdivision we need to free also.
You have any reported injuries?
No injuries, none at all. We got lucky.
How lucky are you?
Very lucky on this one.
Did you hear the warning come by when
we all got the alert on our cell phones. We don't have any warning sirens per se, as in some areas of the country. We get everything on the cell phone. Our emergency dispatch is notified of it also. Well, all the fire departments in this area did get the alert. The stations were manned, so when the reports came in of a possible tornado coming through, they were initially dispatched on a heavy box in this neighborhood. And as you can see, this is where we're at right now. Most of the other apparatus, they're running other calls with power lines down, gas lines ruptured, trees on other homes in other areas of our territory.
Hey guys, do you have any questions for the chief?
Yeah, I do. I wonder, he just kind of touched on it, Sergio, about down power lines in the neighborhood you're in now.
More chainsaws if the county works department is out. Yeah.
Yeah, how many power lines do you have down around there?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell you because they're just dropping. So we do have a handful, more than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Anything else, Lynn and Jeremy?
Sergio, can you ask the deputy chief about the gas leaks and any dangers they pose to neighbors and
What's the
homeowners.
gas leaks around the area?
Well, if we have a ruptured gas leak, it's usually when a tree falls on the gas line that's near the house, it ruptures it, and now we have natural gas. Instead of it being in a safe, confined area, it's now exposed. So we have to send an apparatus over there to keep everybody out of the area, keep it stable, keep it safe, and notify Intex, have them come on over there so they can shut the meter off.
I see you have a lot of residents helping out the fire department.
Yeah, they're a great neighborhood out here. Everybody's out here with chainsaws, rakes, shovels, doing anything they can to help everybody, their neighbor.
I cut you off earlier. You had a message for Harris County if the people had
yeah,
changed.
if the Harris County Public Works, they can send somebody down here. Yeah, we still need a lot of chainsaws and heavy equipment to move some of these trees out of here.
Can you give people an area where the need is?
Oh, yeah, it's at Bayou Bluff and Colony Creek. That's the street that we're at right now.
Okay, Chief, I'll let you go, guys.
All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Back to you.
All right,
right.
Sergio, thanks so much. A lot of cleanup work to be underway there in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. I think the takeaway, Glenn, from that deputy chief is, quote, when he said, "We got lucky."
Very, very lucky, but in spite of that, numerous down power lines across the northwest part of our viewing area. You heard the chief talking about it, plus a ruptured gas line. And they need some folks to come out and, if they can, help. They need as many chainsaws as possible. You can see all the down trees here, and folks with chainsaws starting to cut up and get it out of the way. A lot of streets are blocked up in the area, so they're trying to take care of that, and of course trying to restore power to folks who have lost power.
I do want to mention an update just coming in on travel at Bush Intercontinental. The ground stop, according to the FAA, Len, has been lifted. That was in place until 2:30. That has been lifted, but according to the website FlightAware, nearly 200 flights departing from Bush Intercontinental are still delayed. The average delay for those departures, 75 minutes. So a big headache and hassle at the big airport. Let's check in back with David Paul on what he's monitoring. David?
We continue to watch the weather situation. For the moment, it has calmed down, guys. That is great news. We are under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock this evening. That means conditions will stay favorable for the possibility of a tornado. I want to echo what the chief up there said. We got lucky, got real lucky, seeing the size of these trees that have come down and missing most of the house, or what they hit, there was no one in it. We saw a gentleman whose car was just smashed like a pancake. He wasn't in it. Good. So maybe we're going to get away with this without any significant injuries. All the pictures I'm seeing of this funnel cloud that went through, it may just be, it will be designated a funnel cloud. You know, it did not touch down, but it was at treetop level, and that's all it takes to bring down big trees and snap them off at the top or just uproot them. It doesn't have to touch down to do that, and so this may be that we've got an EF0, EF1 funnel cloud that has done all this damage. But that's why we take these things so seriously. Those are pictures from earlier. What you're seeing there is a rotating supercell. You can see the swirl at the top of the screen. That's the larger parent rotation in the storm. And then as it focuses underneath that, it drops down to a point. And that's what you see. And that's the funnel cloud there at the tip of the point, right at treetop level, just skirting along the trees in northwest Harris County about an hour and a half ago. That's what caused the damage, and that is what it looked like as the tornado-warned thunderstorm moved across northwest Harris County. You can see the broad rotation in the larger cloud base and then the little tip dipping down. And then this is the type of damage we're seeing. I mean, that will take life if you're in it. Thank goodness no one was in it. So big trees have come down as this funnel cloud skipped across at treetop level, uprooted this one. Looks like it missed the house.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky, again, as the chief said, guys, I think we may have gotten real lucky with this one. Once again, we're monitoring the radar. We're under the threat for tornadoes through at least 7 o'clock tonight. That may have to be extended. At the moment, though, all warnings have been allowed to expire.
Okay, warnings expired. The watch continues, meaning conditions are still right for a possibility. These things can happen so fast. David, thank you. Keith Tomsky, let's go to him, our photographer, editor. He's in his neighborhood that was, I believe, affected. Keith, where exactly are you? What are you seeing?
All right, we don't have Keith on mic, but we did see some video again of that outbuilding, Len, at ESD 11, where those two maintenance workers were in. Again, this is in the Klein area, and we've been talking to give folks kind of a bigger picture and set their bearings. This is the area between 249 and Stubner Airline Road, and then Spring Cypress to the north and Luetta to the south. The video that we've been seeing from photojournalist Sergio Soto was at the corner of Colony Creek Drive and Bayou Bluff Drive.
Bayou Bluff, yeah.
In the Colony Creek Village subdivision there. Lots of down power lines still. Last check, CenterPoint Energy reports about 20,600 customers out. Of course, that's across their entire coverage area. Relatively minor when you're looking at 2.2 million CenterPoint customers.
Yeah.
We're talking a fraction of 1%. So that's the good news on that front.
And typically CenterPoint does a fairly good job, especially after the complaints about Beryl, of making sure they get in. They have targeted teams that go in and try and get the power back on as quickly as possible.
And they've also upgraded some of their gadgets, for lack of a better word, where they can shut off where something is, power is stopped and kind of reroute it from the back end. So millions of dollars since Beryl and the derecho from last year have poured in to try to make restoration times not so brutal.
And they've tried to clear areas that are problems with vegetation.
Correct.
And this is a big area, so it's going to take some time, and they're still working on that. But these things can happen. These kinds of weather events, and David knows, you know this, living here a long time, they can happen. The conditions are right, and then boom, you see what happens with trees on cars. And fortunately, nobody in them, no houses seriously damaged, roof damage, obviously.
And the cavalry's coming in, and as we heard from Deputy Chief, some of these are official first responders, and some of them are just
volunteers,
good old Samaritans, and that's Texans helping Texans, which is really neat to see when people are in times of need. Help comes pouring out, and they'll make some quick work of that, I promise you, and get that area cleared out and traffic moving.
And this is, fortunately, what we can say about Houston is when you're looking for solutions to a problem, folks watch, they see the need, they go out with their own chainsaws, they help the firefighters, they help the emergency crews to start cutting up and moving some of this stuff a lot faster, by providing more bodies on the problem.
So David, Paul, if we could bring you back in, starting this morning with our meteorology team, you all issued a weather impact alert for, I believe it was initially 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., correct me if I'm wrong, and that window came true.
Yeah.
In terms of the threat, or the most serious threat, because that tornado warning, I believe, hit about just after 1. I'm not exactly sure on the timing, but there you go.
So this process with the weather team actually started Saturday. We were looking at the setup, we were discussing it Saturday, needed another day to look at some more model data, so it was Sunday that we issued the weather impact alert for today. So we try to get these out, at least a day in advance, so you can plan and know to have notifications on, so that we can get the information to you as soon as possible if that severe weather does strike. So again, we issued this weather impact alert yesterday for today, for this time period, and that forecast has verified. We ended up with this tornadic thunderstorm that's done the damage up here in northwest Harris County. Again, that was a weather impact alert issued by the Channel 11 weather team yesterday afternoon for this potential weather event. We were talking about this. This was borderline, but we wanted to go ahead and issue it yesterday with an abundance of caution, because so many people have family coming in, you've got flights, you've got travel, and you're busy. So, having the KHOU app, having notifications on, weather impact alert, we're there just so that you can just turn notifications on, and then if this does verify and you get severe weather, you'll get the information right there. And when we go live, it's right there in your hand. That's why we're here, that's what we're doing. This tornado watch and the weather impact alert, tornado watch until 7 o'clock. Impact alert, we're going to extend that late into the evening. This may end up being where we get more severe weather with straight line wind and heavy rain until late into the evening tonight. So for the moment, we remain under the weather impact alert because tornado watch is in effect for basically the northern half of our viewing area, and that's until 7 o'clock. That's from the National Weather Service. And then just looking at the severe weather threat, it basically includes the northern half of the area, but it includes all of the immediate Houston area, and even South Houston is included in this threat. I am keeping an eye on the radar as we're watching the first responders and the chainsaws get to work. I'm not seeing anything right now threatening on radar, but we will basically be watching the radar like a hawk the rest of the afternoon, because these storms can spin up and become severe and produce these funnel clouds under these conditions with very little warning. So we're just going to watch it like a hawk and turn on notifications. If you got the app, turn on notifications so that if you're out and about, you'll get it. And if you've got severe weather in your area, you can take action to keep your family safe. So once again, this is the aftermath of a tornadic thunderstorm that moved through northwest Harris County. It appears what we had is a funnel cloud at treetop level that has knocked down a whole lot of trees in the Klein area. And it's the downed trees that have caused damage on the ground and to homes and to cars and to businesses. We had a small building damage at Emergency Services District 11 in northwest Harris County. And now it's the chainsaws are out cleaning this up. And I think I'm going to echo the Klein Fire Chief's words a little earlier when he said we got lucky. We so far have been very lucky. This one knocked down some trees, but no injuries are reported, which is great news. Anytime you get a funnel cloud or tornado going through one of our heavily populated areas like northwest Harris County and no one gets injured, that's a stroke of luck, and we will take it. But like I said, we're going to continue to monitor the radar very carefully. And it may just be an afternoon where we have to break in a couple of times to let you know what's going on out there. Again, damage appears to be to property and trees. We have no reports of any significant injuries. Klein Fire Department Chief says no injuries reported. Good, very good. And now these guys are out there straining their backs with the chainsaws to get this cleaned up, because these trees have come down across roadways up there in the Klein area, and they've got to be cleared. You can see the radar on the left-hand side. Let's just leave it up as we're watching them do the cleanup. We'll go do a quick little radar tour. Big picture, strongest storms up here moving through the north side of Lake Livingston between Huntsville and Trinity. Not a severe storm, but that one's going to cross across the north side of Lake Livingston here over the next few minutes. Gusty wind, brief heavy rain. It's not severe for the moment. Zooming out northwest side, so here's Austin County. You can see a strong thunderstorm. This one right over Belleville. It is moving northeast. So Hempstead, Waller, that's moving in your direction. You guys will get a thunderstorm coming across your area soon. At the moment, not severe, not showing any significant signs of rotation. Those are the two strongest storms. What you also see as we zoom out is a line of storms to the west, and that is going to take the rest of the afternoon to push through. That line of thunderstorms coming into the west-northwest. So really from I-10 north, that's where we have the greatest threat for the next several hours, as this line of thunderstorms associated with a Pacific storm system, and this is a cold front that's going to push through. Once this pushes through, it will open the door to cooler weather. Let's walk through the forecast, the radar forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Here's where we stand now. We go into 4:30, and you can see it's the north side with the strongest threat for thunderstorms as the broken line of storms comes through. This is 6 p.m. We'll still be monitoring the radar. We'll still be under a tornado watch at 6 p.m. Strong thunderstorms possible from I-10 north through Spring and the Woodlands and Huntsville and up to Montgomery. There's 7:30. You can see this line is just going to take its sweet time coming through. And with the conditions favorable, we could still see an isolated severe thunderstorm. We go into 10 o'clock. May see a strong line of storms across the Houston area, up and down the I-59-69 corridor by 10 o'clock. So this is a slow-moving line. By 1 a.m., pushing into the coastal counties, and then finally off the coast after 3 o'clock, and by 5 a.m., we're done. And that should begin the process of opening the door to some cooler weather coming in, which will be welcome. So once again, we remain under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock. The severe threat specifically for folks along the I-10 corridor and northward, that's the area outlined in yellow. Straight line wind damage, isolated tornado, hail threat, all there now through 7 o'clock. And again, here's the official tornado watch from the Weather Service until 7 p.m. this evening. As I said, we'll be monitoring the radar carefully, and this is what we were doing this morning when this tornado popped up just after lunchtime. Monitoring the radar carefully right now, not seeing any signs of rotation with these storms across the north and west side, but that can change very quickly, and so we'll be ready to break in if that becomes necessary, if we get another one of these tornadic thunderstorms. But right now, things have settled down. And, you know, as we lose some of the heating of the day, you know, especially get into 6, 7 o'clock, hopefully the threat will indeed begin to diminish. You're looking at damage on the right-hand side. What we had is a funnel cloud just skip across the treetops in northwest Harris County. And that has brought down several trees and cracked the tops of several trees off. They've come down. They've caused damage to roof and cars. So far, no reports of any injuries, which is great news, but it's people are busy with the chainsaws out there.
Yeah, David, I'm joined with Mia Gradney right now, and Mia, I know you spend quite a bit of time in this area. You're familiar with the neighborhoods,
Extremely
et cetera.
familiar, I am, yes. So this is the area that I grew up in, Spring, Klein. I'm out here at least once a week in this area, and you can see just how large those trees are. So really, when you get up into north and northwest Harris County, Spring, Klein area, you're talking about a forested area, towering pine trees. In fact, my parents built their house in Spring because of the pine trees, and it reminded my mother of deep northeast Texas where she grew up. But here's the problem with those trees.
When you have tree-line winds.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Or tornado.
You know, and it doesn't even have to be the entire tree, just these very mature limbs that can fall on your home, on your property, on your roof line and cause severe damage. And I heard the chief, I believe it was.
Yeah, the deputy chief.
Deputy chief, forgive me, I'm not sure which department he's with.
Klein.
Thank you, Klein. So I heard him talking about they need people to come and help clear these roads. Here's the thing, because those trees, they fall, they prohibit people from coming and going, but then they also fall on power lines. So here's the thing, if you go out to help, you need to be extra careful and extra cautious, and please look for those down power lines. You don't know where they may be, and I feel like sometimes when the sun is out, you know, and the imminent threat is over, we let up on our safeguard. So please be careful, and you know, Houstonians, they will show up in a heartbeat to help out. I have so many family members with chainsaws. I guarantee you somebody will be out there soon, but please be careful. You have neighborhoods out there, they're all named after forests. You have Champion Forest, you have Shannon Forest. So these trees, while beautiful, are the biggest threat when we have these storms that are a wind-driven, wind-fueled storm.
I have, and thank you for your patience, Eddie Cruz with the Cy-Fair Fire Department. Eddie, you're still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
I'm going to put you next to my microphone so people can hear you. You had an incident with some of your firefighters got trapped. Explain what happened.
Yes, we got notice that our Cy-Fair Engine 11 was sent to check on a lightning strike on a home. When they got there, they had to take cover in the garage. They're stating that for approximately 45 seconds to a minute, waiting for the tornado to pass by. Luckily, they are fine. There are no injuries to any civilians in the area. It seems like it's just all structural damage right now and down power lines.
Okay, and what do you say? Mia mentioned being careful. I wouldn't advise people just go out and start cutting away without being aware where the power lines are, or at least checking with the fire department, perhaps?
That is correct. If there is a smell of gas in the area, contact the gas company and obviously the fire department. Also, if you notice down power lines, which there's probably a lot in the area, I know we have a confirmed down power line on Barker Cypress, close to the Riata Ranch subdivision. Stay away. It's extremely dangerous. Call the authorities and obviously call the light company, make sure they come out, turn off the power. But yes, stay away before you start going out there and trying to help. I know everybody right now in these situations wants to help, but it's best to leave it to the experts. And once we give the all clear, and then maybe people could come out and help.
We know there haven't been any injuries, and I know you mentioned the down power line, but do we know of any severe damage to any homes there where we have trees in homes and trying to tend to that as well?
At least in the Cypress area, what I'm getting from the crews out in the field right now is that there are some homes in the Riata Ranch subdivision that had their garage doors blown open. I do have a report of maybe some down chimneys in the homes, fence line, which again we worry about the gas meters being damaged and there being natural gas escaping. So that's why I'm saying if you have an odor of gas in the area, try to make sure that you turn off any ignition sources and contact the gas company and the fire department.
So, Chief, your firefighters right now, they are active. What is their main priority at the moment in the community?
Eddie, you still there?
Yes, I'm sorry. What was that?
Mia was asking, with the people that you have that are out and working, what's your main priority right now?
With your firefighters right now.
With the firefighters.
Right. Our main priority is making sure that there are no civilians that have been injured. Of course, we do worry about the natural gas that may have escaped. We are worried about the power lines. So we're going block by block in that subdivision, making sure our priority right now is to make sure that there's no injured civilians. And
tell me again the subdivision you're talking about.
It's the Riata Ranch subdivision, so 290, Barker Cypress, close to the 290 area.
Barker Cypress near 290, but no injuries.
No injuries reported yet.
All right, this is Eddie Cruz, Public Information Officer, Cy-Fair Fire Department. Eddie, thank you. We'll call you back if you have any updates. I'm glad your firefighters are okay when they had to hunker down.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Eddie Cruz. So just an example of how fast things can change. David talks about this all the time. The weather team talks about it. They issued a weather impact alert yesterday, but you just don't know. You can't. It's hard for them to pinpoint exactly when and how significant. And so we ended up having a tornado this afternoon that was treetop level. And then you see, based on the video that we've been showing you, trees knocked down, power lines knocked down, some garages, you heard Cy-Fair Fire Department say, blown out, doors, roofs damaged,
fence
cars,
lines, and it doesn't take
take much.
Yeah, and a lot of backyards end up becoming. Dave and I talk about this from time to time. Your backyard sometimes ends up becoming a wind vortex, right?
Yes.
And that wind really gets stirred, and it doesn't take much, especially if your fence is older, for the wind to push those fences down. And here's the thing: so you're going to want to get out. You're going to want to survey the damage and everything, as you should. Safety first. Just remember that. He talked about gas meter damage concerns. I know a lot of us think of power lines, especially with all the fallen trees that we've seen, but Eddie Cruz with Cy-Fair Fire Department, he did mention that, those trees and those fences may have toppled onto some gas meters as well too. So if you smell anything, he's asking folks to
call the authorities.
Please go ahead and call in and report that. In the meantime, the fire department, the Cypress Fire Department, they're going to be going, he said, and doing neighborhood sweeps, right? And so they'll be looking for those things. They'll be, checking the air to see if there's any sign of gas. They'll also be looking for downed power lines as well too.
Yeah, the Deputy Chief of Klein, Stephen Kramer, did say they have a ruptured gas line that they've been dealing with, and they're focusing on that area to make sure that they can seal that and make sure that folks can return to the area. But they cleared people out while they fix the rupture.
And here's the thing, not that there's ever good timing for this type of weather, right? But here we are, it's Thanksgiving week. A lot of people are home. The kids are off. You see more people in that neighborhood than usual at this time of day. But here we go with the holidays, kicking off the holidays, and this is what we're dealing with. But keep in mind, people are also expecting people coming into town. So I know some flights have been impacted at our airports, especially up at Bush at IAH. So, know, if you just keep heading east on 1960, so 1960 runs all the way far west out to Cypress, all the way essentially to West Harris County, right? All the way east you keep going, it'll run into 59 once 59 swings north, but right in that pocket, that eastern corridor of 1960 is Bush Intercontinental Airport. So we know flights are impacted there. We're going to work to get some more information in case you are expecting loved ones, and you need to let them know you're probably going to be delayed picking them up if they are able to land if you live in Northwest Harris County.
Yeah, they had some delays. They lifted the ground stoppage a little bit earlier, but then of course it takes time to kind of get back up to speed to allow flights in or to take off, etc. Again, you're looking at video on the right of some of the damage we've seen on the northwest side of Harris County, and on the left is the radar. David has said that we have a tornado watch in effect, not a warning, but a watch in effect until 7 p.m. because the conditions remain right for there to be a potential for another tornado. But for now, he said things have started to clear up, and that storm is moving further to the north, but you also have a line moving west to east that could create a problem, and that's why the watch is in effect until 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Are we talking out a full-blown, all-out tornado? No. It doesn't take very much. In fact, I know David has been cautious to characterize it, right? Because there's a lot of
EF0,
there's
EF1.
a lot of scientific information. He said if he had to guess, though,
yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of scientific information that has to be formally declared. But we do know it looks like clearly a funnel cloud and some severe wind activity. Curious to know what the mile per hour was on those winds.
David was guessing, you know, roughly 75 miles an hour. That's Cat 1 hurricane strength. That'll do it. That'll take out trees and power lines and rupture gas lines, and that's exactly what we're seeing in some roofs. And you can see this building that knocked over, and some of these tin roofs that fall over out in some fields. So
a lot of storage type facilities often that are built out of tin and some plexiglass, fiberglass material that's a little bit lightweight, not your traditional brick home there as we're seeing. There's that tin that we just talked about, likely taken either from someone's garage or from, again, storage that they have as well too. Katir Winfrey is out in Spring. Katir, do you know what neighborhood you're in? Give us an idea of where you are and what you're seeing.
Hey, we're in a neighborhood just off of 249. Justin, do you know the name of this neighborhood?
Colony Creek Village.
Colony Creek Village. So we are in this neighborhood. Take a look behind me. You can see a lot of people are working to remove some of these trees. We got a chance to speak to Justin. I want to have Soto show you just how big this tree is. This tree has fallen across this yard. It was spread across the street. And just looking at all the neighbors coming together to clear this out of the road, that's what brought us to Justin here. He's one of the many people who's out here sweating, putting in that labor to try to get this tree out of the road. So talk a little bit about what happened when did you hear the sound? How'd you know that tree came crashing?
I was actually on the phone with my mom when the tornado came through, and she heard it, got to cover, and then I got a call from a fiance that lives just a few doors down from her. So I came here to do a check on them. I saw there were trees down and fences down, and wanted to just pitch in and lend a helping hand.
That's the one thing that I really love about Texans. When we have a situation like this, everybody almost immediately jumps in. No one has to ask. They just do it. Is that what you saw this time around?
Always, you know, many hands make light work. And so as soon as I showed up, there were several people here helping out the firefighters. And so I figured I would just pitch in and help. There's another tree down there, but this was the closest to me. So yeah, but that's what Texans do. Every time there's a hurricane, people are always so quick to help. There's people passing out waters and using chainsaws and lifting branches. So yeah, it's been great.
When you said that, I just heard a woman say, do y'all need some water? And so that kind of makes a really sad or possible scary situation a little bit lighter to know there's people around who care about you.
Always, yeah. You know, when there's someone that wants to help, not everyone can cut and lift firewood, but everyone can do something. And so you see people out here with rakes even and picking up little branches and big branches and everything. So yeah.
And you're sweaty, you're dirty. Talk about how this is worth it if it means helping clear out your community and just lending a helping hand.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if there's an emergency, the roads need to be cleared. And so the sooner we can get the roads cleared, the safer everyone is. You know, there's people here who may be on dialysis or don't have power and need to get to the hospital. So if the roads are blocked with trees, it creates a bit of a pinch point. So the faster we can get it done, the better it is for everyone.
Well, Justin, thank you so much. I know you have a lot more work to do. Hopefully your community gets cleared out, but thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
And Justin's the kind of people we're talking about, but he's not the only one in this neighborhood doing so much work. I'm going to kind of spin us around and see. You can see all of the trees this way. There's a lot of damage this way. Take a look at this young lady. It kind of shows you the sizing of the damage, but she even just tossed a piece of a branch into the pile. So it just shows you that Texas spirit of people getting involved and helping out. I'm going to walk a little bit closer in here, trying to stay out of the way because people are using chainsaws and different things, but they've made quick work of this tree that has come down in the middle of the road. You can see all of the logs that are cut in half and just making way for first responders and anyone else who might need to get through this area. But as Justin mentioned, we talk about that Texas spirit and people almost immediately jumping into action to get things cleared. Didn't need to be asked. They saw a problem and they got to work. Just looking around this neighborhood, we have seen some damage to fences, but so far no damage on houses. But of course, we're only on this one street, but you can see there are some trees here, possibly landed on this car at some point. But again, people just working together to try to make quick work of this. This is not something I'm sure they were expecting to have to be a part of when they got up this morning. But as Texans do, we know how to get in there and get dirty and help our fellow neighbors. So we're going to be sticking around in this neighborhood and just monitoring it and hopefully talking to some more people to see if there's any damage or any power outages that they'll be able to report to us. Mia?
Okay, Katira, thank you. I want to ask you, because I know you just got there not too long ago. What was it like? What did you observe on your way there, especially once you got into that neighborhood? Did it seem as though this tornadic activity skipped over some streets, or was it pretty much every street that you were having to dodge some downed trees and such?
Well, I'm happy you asked that because just driving in, you wouldn't expect you turn a corner and you see this many trees down. Driving into this area, it looked just like a calm Monday morning. You didn't see any trees down, you didn't see any debris, but as soon as we hit this corner, we saw all of the trees across the ground and on the road and the people out here getting to work.
Katira's in the Colony Creek Village subdivision. A lot of firefighters behind you doing the work and other folks, and I see a lot of kids out because many of them do not have school because it's Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
All right, Katira Winfrey, thank you. Up in Spring, you continue to talk to folks there as they try and clean up, and hopefully this is the worst of it is over.
We can only hope, although we know we have until 7 o'clock, so we have a little less than 4 hours to go until the threat is completely gone for sure. I want to bring in David Paul as well, too. Here's the thing. David grew up in Spring. I grew up in Spring, so we're both very familiar with this area. And tons of pine trees. And pine trees have a shallow root system. That's one reason why they go crashing when you have these winds. And they seem to be the major threat and the major thing causing the damage as we look at all the video and the imagery from Northwest Houston as well, too.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, Mia, we live in a forest up there. So much of Houston is a forest. And anytime we have a windstorm, be it a funnel cloud like this, tornado on the ground or landfalling tropical system, it is trees coming down and limbs coming down that become one of the biggest threat, if not the biggest threat. If it's just a wind situation, it's one of the biggest threats. Those limbs were so forested, they can hit everything, power lines, your car, your house. And so that's what we've seen up there in the Klein area. And thank goodness, no injuries reported. We had a couple of cars that were severely damaged. These are pictures from the Klein area, fences down, very typical of EF0 tornadic wind strength. So what is an EF0 tornado? Those have winds from 65 to 85 miles an hour. In this case, all the pictures I'm seeing show me that this never touched the ground. So this may just go down as a funnel cloud that skipped across at treetop level, and that produced enough wind at the surface to knock down fences and to bring down these trees. And we saw pictures of trees snapped in half off the top, and that's what you'll get when these funnel clouds skip across the top. I believe you're looking at our camera. That is ESD 11. That is Emergency Services District 11. I believe that's their ambulance building. And this is where we had the funnel cloud go right through, damaged a small building on the property, And again, that's exactly the type of damage you would expect to see with an EF0 wind, 65 to 85 miles an hour. It's small sheds. This is it right here. That is classic. You look at that, those would be winds 65 to 85 that would damage a building like that. It's an outbuilding, it's a weak structure, and winds like that will cause the metal roof and siding to be damaged and come down. Again, that's out at the Emergency Services District 11. This again is out at Northwest Harris County, ESD 11, and the tin roof being blown like a sail. So that's what happened. But it just goes to show, this is why we break in even for these minimal tornadic thunderstorms, because these small ones can absolutely do life-threatening damage. And so when this happens, this is why you go to an interior room of your home away from windows on the first floor and just try to get away from windows, get away from the exterior walls. So you'll have more house around you. So if a tree or debris does come down on you, you've got a better chance of staying safe. That's what we're seeing right now. Let me give you a real quick wrap up on weather, and then I'll toss it back to you guys. Tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. So we will stay under the threat for severe weather and possibly a tornado through 7 o'clock this evening. And it's basically I-10 corridor northward across the area. It includes Fort Bend County, but Harris County, Waller County, Austin County, Liberty County, and then north, Huntsville northward. Everybody under tornado watch until 7 o'clock. So what that means is that all the conditions are there that can produce another tornadic thunderstorm like we've seen earlier. And the Storm Prediction Center also, with their storm prediction threat, it's a 2 out of a 5. When we see a 2 out of a 5, we expect that we will see at least 1 or 2 isolated tornado warnings, and that's exactly what we've seen. Now, this was issued yesterday and was part of Channel 11's issuing a weather impact alert day for today. We issued that yesterday because we could see the conditions were there, and so that goes out to the app, turn on notifications, and that'll keep you safe. You'll know if something's in your area. So we're looking at the radar now, and everything has settled down for the moment. We can take a look at where the strongest storms are now, and a couple of things you'll see. We've got this line coming into our north and west side, moving in northern Grimes County. Not severe. It is producing enough rain to cause some minor street ponding near Centerville. That's going to sweep across the area. So Huntsville, Montgomery, Trinity, Lake Livingston, Lake Conroe, you're going to get another line of scattered thunder showers come across. And between now and 7 o'clock, it'll have the opportunity to perhaps produce another funnel cloud. So that's why we're watching this so very carefully. You've already seen the damage that can be done. Strong thunderstorm across Unalaska, north side of Lake Livingston. That is now weakening as it moves northeast towards Seven Oaks and Corrigan. And then zooming back out, northwest side, so we have these individual thunderstorm cells. When you see these individual cells that look like a little ball, these are the ones that we really monitor carefully. These are the ones that are most likely to rotate if they're going to rotate. And so I've been watching these really carefully. We've been looking inside the storm with Doppler radar. Doppler can show if we've got rotation or not. There is no significant rotation with any of these near Navasota and Brenham and Waller right now. They are moving across southern Grimes County, western Montgomery County, Lake Conroe, Montgomery area, and then that's going to sweep toward Huntsville and Walker County. You know, heads up, you're going to get another round of at least scattered thunderstorms come through, and we're monitoring that carefully in case it becomes more severe. Houston, Harris County, we've actually got peaks of sun coming out. Very warm, very humid. You can feel the energy in the atmosphere with the south wind and the heat and humidity out there. That's what's feeding the energy that can produce a severe weather threat today. But right now, Harris County is quiet. We'll continue to watch that very carefully. Again, make sure you get notifications turned on your phone. Let me walk you through the forecast now to 4:30. Scattered thunderstorms most likely from I-10 northward across North Harris County, Montgomery County, and you see up into Grimes County, Walker County. That's at 4:30. We'll go through to 6 p.m. We'll still have a threat for isolated strong thunderstorms, maybe severe, north half of the area. And by 7:30, hopefully we'll allow the tornado watch to expire. However, some of these storms could still produce very heavy rain and straight line gusty wind. We're going to keep the weather impact alert in effect deep into the evening tonight until this line clears. And this is the situation. By 7:30, models have this line kind of re-energizing. So that's at 7:30 this evening. Look what happens between then and 10 o'clock. That's a strong line of thunderstorms right up and down the I-59-69 corridor. That's right through the heart of downtown Houston by 10 o'clock tonight. So we're going to be busy at least watching the radar carefully tonight. We go into midnight, 1 a.m., Line of thunderstorms pushes to our coastal counties, Angleton, Alvin, Pearland, Friendswood, Galveston, Ellington Field. This is going into Anahuac, Mont Bellevue, and Winnie. That's 1 a.m. in the morning. You could see rain and thunder, and some of those storms could be quite strong. Finally pushes off the coast by about 4 or 5 a.m., and then the storm threat and the severe threat will be done. This is the process where we're going to begin to cool off on Tuesday, and I think get chilly as we head into Thanksgiving Day. So that's the process going on right now. This is the Pacific storm system coming in. So now through at least 5 a.m., we've got a chance for a strong thunderstorm. Isolated tornadoes, wind damage, hail threat, all there. And we've already seen, Len and Mia earlier, we had the ground stops at both Hobby and Bushwick Continental Airport. If you've got a flight coming in or out, plan on being slowed down, go early, and again, have notifications on, so if there's more weather warnings for Bush or Hobby or ground stops, you'll get them right away. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks for all that information and helping us figure out what the coming hours look like with that threat until 7 o'clock as we take a look at more of the damage in Northwest Harris County after we had some tornadic funnel cloud activity on the northwest side and the Klein area. And we're following all the emergency response teams on social media, of course, and a very active response from Precinct 4. Constable Mark Herman. They have posted and shared on Facebook more about their response. We'll get to that in just a second, but right now we want to go ahead and listen in on a news conference happening right now with Emergency Service District 11.
City of Spring. So earlier today we had a tornado that came through our campus. We're here in 44 acres here between Louetta and Spring Cypress, and the path was pretty clear through the front of the campus. It hit one of our maintenance buildings in the back. Unfortunately, we had two of our gentlemen that work here working in there at the time. Thankfully, they were fine. One of them managed to hold onto a rack. The other one ducked underneath a table. And as the tornado touched down, it ripped the roof off of that maintenance facility building. And then at the same time, almost simultaneously, ripped the back wall off of the building. So you can imagine how terrified they were, but they were just fine. At the end of it, they came back into the main building. Our building here is relatively new. We have metal storm shutters that we were able to close instantly on all of our windows. So we sustained no damage in the building here. And none of our ambulance operations were affected reversely at all. So we felt very fortunate about that.
Tell me about some of the big trees on the campus.
Yeah, so this is an old growth campus. We've got a lot of old pine trees here with some pretty thick trunks. And you can see they just snapped like toothpicks, a bunch of them. You can definitely see a very clear line of where the tornado came through, which was shocking to us because it happened so quickly. As the gentlemen that were working in that building attest, they said it was they heard the warning, they heard silence, and then they heard what sounded like a lot of rain, torrential rain all at once, and then silence again, and then things started being ripped off the building itself. So it looks like we had a pretty clear line through the woods we've got here into the building, and then it looks like it twisted into the cow pasture behind us there and dropped a lot of trees there. At the end of this, we had a gas leak that was quickly capped. We've got the all clear now. And again, we're so fortunate that no one was injured, and of course, none of our ambulance operations were affected.
Can you talk about the general area and how you guys have heard about other places?
Right, so I understand Klein Fire next door, they had a fence that went down, but beyond that, I understand they didn't sustain any injuries or anything like that either. So again, it couldn't have been a better path for the tornado to go through our campus. We have two outbuildings in the back there. One maintains our fleet of ambulances, and the other one works to clean the ambulances as they come in, resupply them, and get them ready to go out and hit the streets. So neither one of those were affected in any way, shape, or form. So beyond just sort of changing the logistics of getting ambulances on and off the campus, we got really, really lucky.
So can you tell us about that grassy area that's just behind this fleet shelter that is damaged right now? Tell us about that area.
We don't own that property. That is, I believe, a cow pasture that's adjacent to our property. It looks to me we've barely been out here because we just got the all clear for the gas leak, that a number of those trees snapped. But again, didn't snap on our side, snapped on their side where there are no major structures. So again, really, really lucky.
Not really the kind of building you want to be in when a tornado.
No. And they were given, the warning was as ample as it could be. And they tried to make it back to the main admin building, but they just couldn't make it. So they just hunkered down, and like I said, one crouched down under a table and the other one was hanging onto a rack and was literally just standing there watching the sides of this building just rip apart.
What was that building being used for, and is it going to be difficult for you guys to adapt moving that building's purpose to anywhere else on the property?
That was one of the original buildings on the property, so we just use it for facility maintenance. So it was mainly a storage place, and we had some tools in there. It really wasn't used for anything that was, crucial for the day-to-day operations. So no, I don't think it'll be that tough for us to find a new place for all those tools. We have no idea. I mean, again, luckily, most of it seems to be landscaping. I mean, we can get these trees cleared much easier than we could replace a building, a larger building that was more crucial to our operations here, or a life, or an injury. So again, yeah, great path. We're very thankful that this tornado took the path it took.
Where were you?
I was in that building right there, and we were told to get into our designated area for warnings like this, hurricane warnings or tornado warnings. Really wasn't really paying attention, returning emails. I went downstairs to our room, and what sounded like hail turned out to just be the shutters dropping. And then all of a sudden, you could feel the pressure drop. And then it just got really, really quiet. And then we're like, oh my gosh, what is that going on out there? So yeah, it went by very, very fast. And then we opened the doors, thankfully. And again, we could open the doors. The front doors were a little damaged, but they were able to be fixed very quickly. And we saw the damage, and we're like, oh my gosh, it was just like matchsticks.
What have y'all had reported in the area? Have you heard of any injuries or any other major damage besides right here?
To be honest, we've been so busy dealing with what we have here. We have to make sure that the flow of ambulances on and off the campus happen without delay. We shut down the main entrance and we just diverted traffic to the exit. That was our main focus, accounting for everyone, making sure that we could cap the gas leak, and making sure that the flow of ambulances and the service to our district was uninterrupted. And so there hasn't been any time to see what else is going on out there. Thankfully, we're here, we're okay, but we're hoping and praying that everyone around us is just as lucky.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
We have been listening to Miranda Sevchik with Emergency Services District 11, where they had the tornado come directly through that area that David had been talking about, right there between Louetta and Spring Cypress. There was a ruptured gas line. They have capped that gas leak there. They're on about 44-acre campus. They said one of the workers had to hold onto a rack, the other onto a table. It ripped the roof off a maintenance building and tore down a back wall to the same maintenance building. Fortunately, as this funnel skipped through where they were, no one was injured. So that is excellent news on that update in that area. But we're still got to find out in other areas how folks are doing.
Yes, and speaking of other areas, we have Constable Mark Herman joining us by phone right now. Also up in Northwest Harris County. Good afternoon. I know it turned into a very busy afternoon, Constable Herman, and you have a very active response now. Bring us up to speed on the situation there in Precinct 4.
Yeah, so, a little after 2, it got very quiet outside with the weather. And then it hit us. And it hit us in the Memorial Northwest subdivision, primarily the 8,000 block of Summer Grove Circle. We right now have a report of about 100 homes that are damaged, numerous trees toppled. We're coordinating with CenterPoint and also Intex Gas Company. There's a smell of gas throughout the subdivision. We will be working with our first responders. Right now, deputies are with EMS and first responders checking for anyone that was possibly injured during this series of storms. And so far, God was looking out for us. We can't find anyone that's been injured through this.
Thank goodness for that. Now, with those gas concerns there in the neighborhood, Constable Herman, what is your advice and your recommendation for people who are there at home or even people who are headed home at this moment?
Yeah, well, continue to report any gas leaks. Those are kind of isolated, but wherever the gas leaks are, we're making sure we're taking precautions, no one to, drive vehicles in that area and things like that that could possibly ignite the gas. But there are confirmed gas leaks in the community. The good news is we've already got CenterPoint on the ground and Intex out there to handle those things. We will have, we've got about a couple of dozen of deputy constables on the ground that'll be doing the traffic control and helping get Commissioner Tom Ramsey's office in there with heavy equipment, which they've already started arriving to get some of the trees cut out of the roadways. And so it's just going to be a team effort from here on out.
I wonder, Constable, it's Len Cannon. You mentioned drones. What is it? What is that showing you right now?
Well, we've got 3 drones up that we just got in the air about 30 minutes ago. They're doing some video from the air. We'll be posting all that on our social media platforms and sending it out to all, to the outlets to use if you wish. But the drones are showing a lot of damage. My captain that's on the ground there said there's over 100 homes that is damaged in some form or fashion, and again, it's just amazing that we don't have any citizens injured through this episode.
And we understand, Constable Herman, you have a command post that's set up now at Theus Elementary School?
That is correct. Yeah, we set up a command post for first responders to come, and that way we can have deputies take them for the routes to get in, because the subdivision's cut off. I mean, when you try to go in, some roadways are completely blocked. There have been some neighbors out there that have begun to help us clear some of the stuff out of the road so we can get emergency services in there. But right now it's like a little a grid search of the area to check homes and ensure nobody's been injured, and public safety is priority one, making sure everyone's safe.
And Memorial Northwest, this is west of Stubner Airline along FM 1960 and east around Champions Forest Drive in that area community?
Yeah, it's actually Louetta, north to Spring Cypress, east to Stubner Airline, and then probably Champion Forest would be that little box area. And it looks like it only hit those areas. And, if it was a tornado, or I don't think it's been confirmed yet, we'll leave that up to you folks, the experts, to figure out if it was. But it was some kind of weather event that caused the amount of damage that we're seeing out there.
And so, Constable, I wonder, you're doing a grid search to make sure everybody's okay. Any idea how long that's going to take? Because we still have a tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. I
do not know, but we're going house by house, and with other EMS responders, just to ensure. And again, so far they've checked probably 50-something homes, and they're going to continue till we make sure everyone's safe. Now, some electricity is on in that neighborhood, but the areas where the gas leaks are, if it was on, they've turned it off for logistical reasons. And but again, we'll leave the gas part and CenterPoint part up to those folks, and I'm sure when it's safe to get it all back on, they'll do that. But I can tell you that however long it takes, we will be deploying assets, constable assets throughout the night in those communities.
I know you said you have 100 homes believed to be damaged. About how many homes total are in that neighborhood that you have to canvass?
I really don't know. I would say 300 to 400 that are in that community. But damage-wise, just from the visual that we're getting from our drones, the captain that gave me the information said there's over 100 that are damaged. Their roofs. Some of the roofs are just pulled off. Some of them are partially off. But that's all we know at this point.
Well, thank goodness we're just dealing with damaged homes and not dealing with lives. Constable Mark Herman, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us. We know you and your deputies have your work cut out for you this afternoon into the evening. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, let's go to David Paul right now. And David, give us an update. I know we have a tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. So everything seems much clearer out. So explain why the watch lasts for another 4 hours or so.
It's a great question. If you walk outside right now, you can feel how warm and how incredibly humid it is outside right now. So that is fuel that can fuel these thunderstorms and be part of what could cause them to become tornadic. This is also part of an upper level system coming in. So until 7 o'clock, the ingredients will be there that could cause any of these thunderstorms that pop up to become tornadic. There are a couple of them on the radar that we're tracking. As you look at the pictures here from the Klein area, you can see so far the damage from a tornadic thunderstorm that came through northwest Harris County a couple of hours ago did significant damage to trees. It looks like this may have just been a funnel cloud that skipped along at treetop level and damage these trees. But you know, you live anywhere in Harris County, we live in a forest, and you know, even some of the big limbs are more than 1,000 pounds. They come down on your house, your car, and it can cause, you know, not just damage to property, but life-threatening stuff. Aniele Ruiz is out live at Barker Cypress in northwest Harris County. Aniele, what are you seeing out there? More tree damage?
Damage. Let me show you guys what we found out here. Look at this big tree just snapped here, completely blocking part of this lane. Even this pole here has been knocked down. Now, I also want to show you guys, see if my photographer says that can follow me this way. Check this out. This is a clothing donation, a little shelter that they had here for people. Completely knocked over. It's really, really, really heavy, guys. Also, I want to show you these businesses here. They're without power. They said that they've been without power for a long time. The lady inside this Cypress, a grocery store, told me it was so bad. They were so scared. She had to go inside and, of course, hunker down and say prayers. She said they were really scared. They saw lots of debris flying everywhere. I want to show you guys also this. Look. It appears some of this is actually from the top of these of the canopy here at the gas station. A lot more debris also down that way. Of course, more signs that are down. A lot of these people are telling me, you know, that there's no electricity. They're driving around trying to find a place to plug in. A lot of people are actually off for the Thanksgiving holidays, and they're worried, asking me how long it's going to take CenterPoint to come out here and, of course, restore the power. They're concerned about their food. A lot of these people have already done their Thanksgiving shopping, so they're wondering how long it'll take CenterPoint officials to come out here and, of course, restore the power. We did see a vehicle out here not too long ago. Hopefully, they can make it out here for this area, for this neighborhood. Also, want to show you these flags hanging on for dear life, but they made it. And so, of course, good to report out here. Everyone said they stayed away from the windows. They were inside. Fortunately, no injuries that we've seen. But of course, we're going to continue to make our way to try and see if we can spot any more damage. And hopefully everyone has been able to stay safe. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aniele, it looks like that tree right behind you, it looks like it's been uprooted. Is that the case? Has that tree been uprooted?
So it actually, check this out. It actually looked like it snapped right here. I'm going to show you. It looks like it snapped. Check. Do you see this?
Oh, yeah.
And it just fell. And when it fell on top of this pole, blocking the ditch there, just causing extensive damage. The air pump survived, but this pole actually did not. And you can see there's also other signs that are stuck under there. Yeah. Again, this is blocking a whole lane here. Fortunately, again, nobody was injured, but this is a pretty big tree. It's going to take a good amount of people to clear this up out here.
Oh yeah, that's a couple of 1,000 pounds. Aniele, thank you so much. Those pictures are so important because it allows us to take a look at the damage and assess how strong the winds were. That's EF0. Just so you know, Aniele, that's EF0 wind damage. 65 to 85 mile-an-hour winds will do exactly what you're showing us. And, you know, that's on the lowest end of a tornado threat, but even the weakest storms can cause, you know, if that comes down on a car, it could easily cause significant harm to you.
And I think also, David, I want to show you, and I hopefully Cesar told us, but I think the biggest concern also for these people was this canopy. They said that it's missing part of it already at the top, so they don't know where it landed. Again, the people inside these grocery stores telling me they're happy that, of course, it didn't hit their windows or there, but they don't know if it landed in the neighborhood behind them or where it went. So, again, they're still kind of try to assess some of the damages around here, but being very cautious because, again, the lights are out and they're hoping to be able to walk around in a little bit more.
All right, Aniele Ruiz live, Barker Cypress out in northwest Harris County. As we mentioned, this is a tornadic thunderstorm that went through northwest Harris County about an hour and a half ago. There is also apparently some damage in the Champions area. Let's go to the Champions area right now. I believe Matt Doherty's out there. Hey, Matt. Okay, what do you see out there?